I'm really glad to see everyone. I'm really glad to proceed to today's meeting. Today we have some awesome news for you, as well as some bonuses, information. And let us start. The meeting will be necessarily attended by Andre. We have already seen knocking in. Besides, we'll have Mr. Romanenko today, and we have lots of splendid information prepared for you. Today you'll find out about the opportunities for your business, 500, including the goals and objectives for our funds. You'll have the news about the way you can start acting as a well-off millionaire. You'll learn how to become a millionaire in 3 years to 6 months, or even faster. We will introduce you into the upcoming events as well as the plans for February, the plans for 2019, the best, the hottest news, and finally the Q&A session, hosted by the Director General. Well, our objective is to ensure great development and growth this year, and scaling as well. So we need to grow more than 500 times. And here what we have prepared for every one of you. We have some tools that will enable each and every one of you to implement his dream. Let us introduce each other to ourselves. Probably there are some newcomers. To see me for the first time. So I believe there are some people who don't know you, who are not familiar with you. I can see some people putting some 1 points. Now I can see someone, so not everyone is quite familiar with me, so I'll probably introduce you to myself and elaborate on the objectives and the goals that I pursue, as well as the way we had for. My name is Dmitry, and I'm the head of the regional office in Moscow. I can personally meet each and every one of you in Skyway, and my meetings with you started some 2 years ago. I used to be an entrepreneur myself, and once I woke up at some 12 or 11 a.m. and I really did not feel like going to work because I faced the following situation. I'm the head of the of one of the residential areas, and I have a obligation towards the tenants of this residential area, and I actually was making some delay because the construction workers were not fulfilling their obligations on time. So as a result, there were some clients that did not pay in time as well. So this gave me some headache, and I did not know how to pay the construction workers. So I had plenty of pain in the neck, and I decided to ensure some further development. So please tell me if you're familiar with such situations when you wake up and when you do not know what to do. So put some 5s if you have seen such cases in your life. So I decided that it is necessary to find some tutor, to find some teacher, as well as some course that will give me some pleasure and some satisfaction. So I decided to opt for such a opportunity, and I met Mr. Khavratov, the Director General of our company. The first thing I did was passing the Master Profi course. This was some 2 years ago. A lot of time has passed. I've become the head of the Department for Strategic Development in Russia. I've also turned into a businessman, investment consultant, and a Master Profi trainer. The above-mentioned training was actually a starting point for me, which allowed me to find a favorable job and bring some good to others. So that was a turning point in my life, but I'll tell you about it a bit later. Now I'm the head of the SWIG call center, and I'm responsible for whatever is related to the SWIG center, so you can always request for some feedback from me. Whenever you have the opportunity to meet me in person, we can always meet each other in Moscow and discuss any questions that are related to the project. Now you know who I am, you know what I do, and naturally we can proceed to our discussion. The main objective is to construct the facility in St. Petersburg, Moscow, and Vladivostok, we are developing a project which is open for 15 or 10% of the population of the Russian Federation, which is some 20 to 30 millions of Russian citizens. So right now we are selecting leaders on a competitive basis, so please write down what region are you from, or at least what city they come from. So at any point where the Skyway route will pass, and in all the cities that will use for our transportation system, we need some leaders. These will be people who will be promoting the technologies in the region and telling others about our business, the business with SWIG implemented in their region. So we're interested in opening some rep offices in your cities. And if you're a leader, if you're full of energy and resolution, you're welcome to our company, which is the community of really ambitious and eager to develop individuals, just like me or even faster, can create your career. You can build up your own career and become ahead of the target projects in your regions through opening some representing office. You can become a partner of the SWIG Center. This can be done by virtually anyone who comes to our company. And I'll be extremely glad if you become one of those individuals. I'll be doing my best to extend my helping hand and providing all my experience and all my knowledge so that you can ensure even faster growth. Besides today, I'm also the head of the Skyway project in Moscow region. One of the objectives is to unite all the satellite cities in one major facility. This will improve the life of the Moscow residents and turn our city into a very attractive venue. This project will be self-sustainable, and starting from the implementation point, we will be able to even faster achieve our goals and objectives throughout the territory of the Russian Federation and the world in general. So whatever is related to that, we can bring up during the meetings at the Moscow rep office. You can always address me with the questions about the way we can implement this project in a faster way. So this is what we actually do. If you are watching our webinar not from the Russian Federation, but being in some other point of our planet, well, actually it's really encouraging that we have some dozens of venues connected. So all the world is waiting for you, and you can be at any region because we are opting for each and every parts of the planet, and we're going to open up our representation offices in all the regions that you come from. So we are more than eager to work in each and every region of the planet. All of you have such plans, so you just need to get down to the implementation. Master Profi is a legendary training which gave me a powerful start, and this was a turning point in my life because it sparked my development in this direction. Actually, came here because I was looking for some opportunity to create some networks. And when I found out about Andrei Khavatov being a multi-level investor with huge experience in the area of creating some major structures, I decided to immediately join. So I'd like to underscore that all of you have this unique opportunity. By the 20th of March, you can make the corresponding decision. You can make it today or at any point of time before the 20th of February, and you can attend this training. You can act as a student and become a partner as well as representative in your corresponding region. The nearest training will be held on the 20th of March, and this will be a practical guide towards the implementation of your personal dream. You will learn how to manage your finances and also receive some knowledge and skills of a leader, and will have the opportunity to address in person the Director General as well as me and other directors of our company. You'll be introduced to all the CEOs of the company, and we'll have the opportunity to come up with your own ideas. For example, personally, I wanted to scale up a call center. This was my personal business. some time ago, when I had the opportunity to meet the Director General in person, he actually backed my idea because our objectives really coincided. So now I have my own business within the framework of our company. And it's really probable that you have your own business, and this business can be scaled up within our company. This can become your own department within the company, and we have lots of growth waiting in the wings in terms of the progress and in terms of the directions of our activities. So naturally, you're free to come up with your own ideas at the master training course, because this is the event at which we meet the candidates and select the best ones to provide the practical ideas for achieving your dreams. So basically, this is one of the tools which allows to scale up your business, notably the training course. How do we create a multi-level network? I'd like to give you a small example which will illustrate the way you do it and the way I envisage it myself. You can see a simple spreadsheet. This is our business plan. We have several levels in place, and if you have some business as a non-professional, then you have a couple of partners in your network who create a network of connections, and once in a while they do something, once in a while they receive some partnership bonuses and remuneration, and the network grows depth-wise. So this is the number of the partners that you have. They actually copycat whatever you do is done by partners as well. So they do it once in the blue moon, and so do you. They actually never listen to what you say. They just blindly copycat your acts. So they do a bit, you do a bit, they have a couple of partners, and you do as well. So you reach level 4, then level 8, 32, 64, and so on and so forth. Imagine that the partners, for example, invest 100 units in installments or in any other fashion, and thus you have some corresponding levels of income received and generated. So I have actually already made all the calculations for you just to make it easier. So for level 1 we have some 16 or more units. So the unit is actually the payment unit of the company, which equals $1. So that's the result you can achieve. The result actually can be bigger, but it all depends on the way you act. But our objective is to scale up our business 500-fold. What can we do for it? Let me give you the second example now. This will provide you with some food for thought. If you build up a good and nice team, you need to select some good experts. These can be the people you know, your mother, your father, your friends, your neighbor, or anyone else. But if you need a professional team, then you need to select professionals. So you are to build up a team of professionals and experts and pundits. But if you need a better team, you need to select the best ones to make up your team. So we are facing the following questions. Where do we find the professionals we need? Where do we find the best of the best? And how do professionals work? So this is the way professionals work. They create their team, which includes not 2 partners but 5 instead. Naturally, professionals working in this team act just as you do in a professional way, and they repeat all your actions. And naturally, at level 2, each of the partners from level 1 will invite some 5 partners, so you'll have the exponential growth of the income generators. So if each of the partners copies the acts of the upper level, then you have the corresponding growth. So you have 2 options, a professional and non-professional. As a result, the volume of investments is increasing. Level 5 and level 6 make some 40,000 units, which equals some 3 million Russian rubles. This can be generated in a day, in a month, in a week, or within any period of time. So the difference between professionals and non-professionals is some 250 times. So this is actually the tool which demonstrates the difference between a professional from a good individual. So the question is, where do we find a professional at the end of the day? And this is what we have already cared for. How do you think? Who are the professionals engaged in a multi-level business? Please give me some feedback. And meanwhile, I will tell you about the tool that you can use in order to scale up your business. This is the tool we have prepared. So here it is. We have prepared a special product for you, which provides you with an opportunity to receive a lot of professionals in your team at level 1. So this is a MLM assembly. These are the MLM entrepreneurs in Luzhniki. There are 7,000 of them. On the 31st of August 2018, there was an event in Moscow. That was the first assembly, which was attended by 1,000 persons. There were the top leaders and director generals of the company presenting at this assembly. So please give some feedback if you also attended this event. Actually, this was just a first step, which was not quite successful, but that at the same time gave us a strong impetus towards development. After this event, it was decided to gather a stadium of attendees. So this was the idea of one of our teammates, and it turned out that it was resolved to hold an event at the Luzhniki Stadium, which was done by 7,000 individuals. So far, there has been no promotion, there have been no advertising campaigns in place. At the same time, 4,000 tickets have already been sold, which demonstrates the strongest will of the multi-level businessman to attend this meeting. Probably some of your friends attended a GoPro event in Las Vegas. It all started some 8 or 7 years ago with some 7, then 10, then 15,000 attendees. They gathered stadiums and finally invited Tony Robinson. So we're actually doing the same, but even in a better way. We have some speakers who are the top-notch professionals, notably Mr. Khavratov, Almond, and other top leaders of our company. You probably know Roman Vasilyenko, Artem Nestorenko, and others. Please give me some feedback if you know them. You can put some 5 or 10 if you know the first of them, if you know the former or the latter in person. So probably you're familiar with those, and you know that these are the top leaders of the company. These are the practical specialists who will be providing you with some practical tips and clues. I will also personally attend this meeting in order to meet some 1,000 individuals and to get some practical insight from the director generals of the company, from some top leaders and others. Later on I will employ this knowledge in practice. So your tool is actually whatever is within the package of partners' tools. These are provided by the Private Investment Academy. So I strongly encourage you to purchase the tickets. Where are the network leaders? All of them are right over there. And the same is true about the professionals because they want to make it there. If you offer anyone of them an opportunity to attend this assembly, they will naturally be encouraged. So we can provide some learning for an individual, and he will purchase a ticket and will also receive a bonus from our company, which will be the training provided by the Private Investor Academy, as well as the video course, which will tell you about the way to turn $1 in 1 million USD, as well as about the way you invest.
8 rules of private investor and many other courses. So you'll hear what is on the participants package. So any person involved in multi-level marketing will be able to sell tickets on their own. They will be able to participate in the promotion, and the leader who invites 50 people from 3 levels, so the first, second, and the third level of invitees, and if you send 10 tickets on your own, then you're getting VIP tickets. There are only 200 of them, and we have the majority of them in our company. So 22 of them are sold, and the number is decreasing day by day. Those are VIP tickets. At this event, everyone who understands something, who wants to develop, and who thinks it possible for them to be there, they will be there. So that is, they're going to bring along their team. They're going to get the growth of their team x 250. If they sell some tickets with their team, they're going to get some commission, and they're going to get experts and their expert potential in their teams, and in these teams and with these experts you'll be further be able to work on the scheme that I have given you. I'm implementing that, and I'm also planning to participate in that promotion and to gain a lot from it, just as you. So one way or another, a person involved in MLM or network person is going to ask you, so what you are doing, and then you just invite them to have a chat, you tell them about their projects, they tell you about theirs. So right now we're coming to the assembly for the content, and then we'll be able to talk on the businesses in private. Everybody will be interested in what kind of business you are doing, so this is an occasion for you to polish on your skills and presentation and rendezvous conversations. But at first, you just need to sell the ticket to them. You need to get these partners in your team, in the structure of your business. So that's the point about how to scale up a business 250-fold. So if you think that this is good, please rank it from 0 to 10. And then you can actually use it already now, so you can be buying the tickets right now. And you can choose the seats at this assembly. A bit later, in a couple of days, I think you'll be able to sell these tickets from the resource of the private investor, not from the academy, but from the private investor, so that your client gets to the academy and they have the available options of buying tickets, buying invitations, and so on. So basically, you will be focusing on the genius of finance through the Academy of Private Business. I'm happy you like it. I'm also happy about the opportunity to scale up my business, and so I use it. So, a tool for scaling up and growing your business, of course not X250, but X500 already, is training near Moscow, millionaire in a year. So if you're traveling from Far East, from Ukraine, from Belarus, from Kyrgyzstan, from Kazakhstan, of course, you have already come to Moscow for the MLM assembly, and you have a unique opportunity to participate in a immensely cool training. About 15 speakers from our company, starting with the super professional Andrei Havratov, Armand Mornieks, and the directors of DMKI, multi-level crowd investment, and so on. So, and from the people who work practically, who managed to achieve millions of turnover, and who managed to do so practically, but not by the book. So they managed to start living the lives of their dreams, the lives of the millionaires, in no time, and who will share this content, this real life experience to you in this atmosphere where we all gather together and work on the content, hand in hand. This is the total immersion, 3 days. On the 9th, we're checking in. In the evening, we will be starting a concise training. Then the 10th is a full-day training. On the 11th, we are also having a full-day training and a buffet. So all the people who comply with the promotion conditions will be awarded there. So the tickets for this event will be available to you or to anybody who finds it appropriate to be there. But only people from consultant and higher above in position will be able to participate at this part. Of course, we have the early bird benefit of a lower price. As soon as the programmers, let's say, formulate the personal cabinet and we have finally the button buy, so after the first tickets are bought, the price is going to go up and it will go up 100 units every month. So this kind of product is not yet available still. It is in development so far. So it was created for you so that we can scale up the business X500. One of these events was the event Millionaire in a Year in Yaoundé. It gave birth to such leaders as Petr Jalbert, Alsun Aleva, Armand Morniers, and many others, top leaders of the companies that were in Yaoundé. They got this wonderful impetus and they had a tremendous head start, and we saw their names very fast within the ranks of the directors of the company. So you will be able to do that as well. There will also be classified information only for the people who are allowed to get to that part of the event. So anybody can buy the ticket, but only consultants or above can get to the special part. So now you and your teams can work very nicely. So there is the MLM assembly, there's Master Profi, the super instruments, and there is the opportunity to be present here at this event, Millionaire in a Year. You will get a well-developed strategy, how to create turnover from scratch, how to start living a millionaire life right from the beginning. For 5 people invited personally, you're going to get a VIP ticket for the MLM assembly and a special new... Oh wait, this is a special bonus that is not yet there, but will be available for the people who participate in the event. So you will get a bonus which will be many times bigger than the cost of your participation in that event. So if you have a team of 10 people, you will get the VIP ticket and 1 hour of coaching, and of course the recognition of the SWIG Foundation. The best teams are going to be recognized and awarded this event, and there will be the special recognition from our fund. And all the people from other cities who come from afar, from other countries, from other regions or cities, we will have a special bonus. If you keep your ticket, you will get the bonus of the sum much higher than the cost of your transportation. This is what you're going to get and what you're going to definitely appreciate. So you will have a wonderful head start, and you will get tools that will help you develop the turnover that you have not even dreamt of. You will go to a whole new level as of today. So what does this kind of training give me? I, for example, communicate with the Sberbank, with the members of the board of other banks, with the with top-level managers of different companies, with the owners of cryptocurrency funds, with directors of stock exchanges. So I'm communicating with Moscow government. This is an absolutely new flow. You're getting to the new level. And as you can understand, the person you are going to be in 2 or 3 years determines what you study and what people you communicate with. Of course, these factors influence what you are going to be. So you will be within a group of prosperous and rich people in all senses, and we'll meet there. Now, let me introduce you the financial director of our company, Igor Romanenko. This is the person who is a practitioner in creating financial portfolio. The person who not only creates that, but manages it, and manages it so successfully that this portfolio grows, scales up, brings profit, and we achieve the capitalization that we're talking about. First, of course, the forming of the fund, and then capitalization of more than 25% per day. This entails about 14 instruments, and this is the person who is going to be sharing the knowledge at master profit training, and a number of trainings in Russia. We will travel around Russia with that. Igor Romanenko is right now going to give you will shed some light upon some strategies and experiences that he has and that you will be able to use. So you will see what you achieved throughout January and the previous months. So Igor Romanenko, the financial director of SkyInvest Group, please meet him, and while you're greeting him, please let us know in the comments how you feel about the information that you've just got. Igor, I give the floor to you. Storm of applause. Igor, I'm turning off. Hi, Igor. Hello, my friends. Thank you, Dmitry, for such a wonderful introduction. Hello, everybody. Dear partners of SkyInvest Group, please, can you rate from 0 to 10 how well you can hear me, how loudly you can hear me? Wonderful. Everything works fine. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here conducting a webinar. First of all, let me congratulate you on entering 2019. This year is going to be full of events. It is going to be a really fast track and very volatile in terms of finance. So, however, the people who have knowledge in this or that field, in our case, we're here at MLM Business are talking about financial and investment literacy. These people are going to be in trend. This is a very interesting year, a transitional year, I would say, and I announced it as the financial department, the year of training, the solid training on financial literacy. You will see me at many conferences, not only Master Profi. We're going to have the off-site events in the city in the cities of Russia and in some countries of Europe. I already talked about that. The final webinars. We need to have financial consultancy not only with the MLM, but also in the investment businesses. We are a prototype of investment funds. We need to be financially, institutionally literate, especially in that year, starting from that year. Well, of course, we had to be literate even before that, but now this is the trend. So locally, where we have representatives of the cities, it is very important that people are financially literate. Not only financially literate and have the idea of how to invest wisely, but also are able to train other people, instruct them in what we give at our investment webinars. So twice a month. On Wednesdays, that is 2 p.m. Moscow time. And there's a lot of interesting things to be said. But to talk about the portfolio numbers, what's very important, dear friends, is that you have the portfolio style thinking. Warren Buffett, starting from 1985, has been showing good growth rate with his portfolio. He was never showing some outstanding numbers. He was getting the income which was a little bit above the market average. This is not a fantastic person. He was just in trend, and he had a long-term portfolio thinking. So I want you to bear that in mind. You need to be set for long-term investing. You need to invest in the products that give you added value, not in something that you can speculate on. Of course, I did a lot of that, and a lot of people still do that, the fast income style. But investment, real investment, is focused on long term. So which is why we speak about pension programs that focus on mid to long term perspective. So we're talking about complex interest, and we're talking about when it starts working appropriately. You know, it starts working after 15 years. Of course, if you have greater interest income, you can reach your objective faster. So, dear friends, I wanted to show something to you, just some figures. Some of you may remember I showed that a bit, but let's just go over it again. At the end, I'm going to show you a small portfolio. It is important not just to invest, but also to balance your investment portfolio appropriately. So, dear friends, as you can see at this slide, the stock of American companies and their growth, we see the growth of the American stocks. So we have the overall investment of like $1 million, and we have the growth of 62 times over the period of time. So if we invest, for example, $1 million in all of these companies, so we see the names of the companies here: Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Walt Disney, Apple, Microsoft, and so on. So in 20 years, in 2018, we would get 62 million. This is just a small example of investment portfolio. This is a very simplistic example, of course. I will be teaching you to create the portfolios that are a little bit more solid, because this one is not protected. It just has the financial instruments of the stock market. And this is not really good if you only invest in one thing. So, you know, the Academy of Private Investment outlines over 22 items you can invest in. And you should distribute financial instruments wisely. So one of the rules of private invest is diversifying around different objectives of investment. But even if we invested only in them, we would get significant growth of capital. Now, why these companies grew? They were underestimated, but now they're in trend. But you know, shares grow in the long run. They always do if there is good balancing along the portfolio. In the long-term perspective, the stock market grows in price. The same could be said about just real estate and other objects of investment. So you should be heading for long-term investment. As an example, we could talk about Russian companies. The situation is analogous. If we invested $1 million in 1998, then eventually we would get over $200 million. This is if we talk about the top companies.
Speak about whether it is reasonable to invest into the stock market right now. I would say that it is expedient to wait for a while because some tools can demonstrate some growth. But I would recommend you to gradually invest into the highly liquid means. And these are actually the financial means, including the cash. Yes, indeed, the situation has normalized already, and it is not as bad as it was at the end of the last year. But we are approaching the end of the production cycle, which actually started some 10 years ago. There were actually some 80 production cycles already in place, and the last one has already finished. And certain unpleasant phenomena have occurred to the economy. In 2008 we had some 6%. Today the rates have reduced to 2.5, and they actually cannot fall any lower. Economics is very simple actually, and at all my webinars I will explain the basics of it. I will tell how a newcomer can get a solid insight into the specifics of it. I will start from the basics of investment and we'll go to the investment portfolio management. We will offer you some low-risk as well as high-risk financial tools, my dear friends. And certainly, it is extremely important to understand how these tools are to be used, because without knowledge there is no way to do it effectively. So imagine that you purchase a Ferrari, you sit at the wheel, but you can just get into a catastrophe. You can actually get into a road accident because you don't know how to drive it properly. So you need to start with the basics and gradually move to higher speeds and finally achieve your aims. My dear friends, now I would like to demonstrate to you one of the options for a investment portfolio. This investment portfolio I already demonstrated previously. We have some 30 financial tools present here, 30 or around that, including the stock market. The total portfolio for this period of time is on the screen. So here we have some 30 financial tools, including the ones for the financial market, the stock market, precious metals, and so on and so forth. And the revenue generated in 20 years will be quite considerable. In 1998, many companies were seriously underestimated. In some 20 years, the economy has been pumped up with a lot of cash. And this cash was pumped into the financial markets, which brings about considerable growth that we are observing now. This growth is slowing down as there is consolidation process in place. So it is really important to follow the news that will happen this year. Now let me demonstrate to you the following thing. Here it is. This is an example of an investment portfolio. When I joined the Private Investor Academy, I was offered this investment portfolio, and it wasn't really important for me to understand the way it operates. So this is actually a simplified version. And I would recommend you to start with a similar template. Those of you who will attend personal training in financial literacy will receive a template. And this will be a template of an investment portfolio, but in order to have it, you also have to pass a certain way. This is not the beginning of the training, this is closer to the middle of it or the end of it, because we do not provide you with an investment portfolio when you just begin. We start with some investment basics, which gives you some clues of the way it works, because otherwise you will just get confused. This is just the way I trained myself. We started with some basics and gradually moved ahead. Actually took up the best course because I realized that it is extremely important to be motivated to train, and whenever you have this motivation you are sure to achieve success. So I'm really glad to share my experience. I was really interested to find out about the way it works, and I actually did it. But I do understand that I still have a lot to learn, and I try to train continuously in this direction in order to become increasingly competent, because there is still a lot to learn, not only in the area of investment, and I try to develop continuously in many areas and many fields of life. Dear friends, now if we move on to the investment portfolio, probably it's not really visible for you. You can actually scale it up, and this is an example of an investment portfolio. The volume of investment is 100,000 USD. This is one of the options, so this is a total sum of investment. Here it is, 100,000 US dollars. So the revenue within the period in some 20 financial tools is 33%. So what tool do we have? We have a banking deposit. Besides, we also have some tools for insurance business, and this is extremely important, my dear friends, because you need to insure your life and you need to insure your investments. Besides, we have some real estate in here. And we also have some profitability. So the output provides you with the total for the investments. Besides, we have some four facilities, so four objects for investments. What am I driving at right now? I just want you to understand the way you correctly strike the balance for your investment portfolio. You can start with direct investments, and you can plant high profitability, but as a result you will end up having losses. So during the first year of investment, it is extremely important for you, my friends, to have some 80% of your money stored in the guaranteed segment of investments. There are four of them, including the guaranteed, the middle risk, the low risk, and the high risk segments. Each of those segments can be assessed just like as any other tool in terms of the profitability and the losses and the risks borne. If we have 100% done, it is a high risk segment of investments. So we can have some financial pyramids and hype, or some stocks associated with really high risks. So we can take some Amazon and some Amazon shares, for example. In case of sales, this will be the first ones to be sold, and the rate of profitability is more than 270 years right now for them. So it takes some 270 years for the stockholders to purchase their business, but you understand that it's really hard. As for Sberbank, for example, it is as little as 5 years, so there is no way to compare it. Yes, we do understand that the US is in trend, but whatever company you select, you need to correctly assess it in terms of the financial constituents. You need to take a look at the financial indicators demonstrated by the company, because this is really important. In the long run, you need to finally introduce it into your investment portfolio. You also need to use Warren Buffett. So you use their analysis for the long run, and you should also receive some dividends, because this is an extremely important part of your investment portfolio. The best dividends paid by companies now are the ones paid by the Russian market companies. They make up some 15%. So these are the dividends. Just imagine that. For example, Lenenergo is one of the examples, or Surgutneftsgaz as well. Apple pays as little as 2%. But this is Apple. So once you perform the assessment, it is also important to calculate the risks. This slide shows that the profitability makes 33%. But now let us switch on to the next slide. You can see some red lines. So I highlighted the high risks for financial instruments, and we need to assess and calculate it immediately. If our financial instruments are negative, for example, the guaranteed financial instruments are positive. In any case, the banking deposits are positive as well. Life insurance is also positive. So life insurance, especially the foreign one, is always about some solid insurance policies. We always opt for some Swiss or European companies, including Google and others. Besides, we anyway have some positive value here. We also have some real estate that we provide for rent, which is also a guaranteed segment of investment. There are also some financial instruments which are included into the middle and higher risk segments. So these are the segments, and these are the instruments, my dear friends. Here they are. These, my friends, are the higher risk financial instruments and middle risk financial instruments. So you can have some risks associated with them, but I also introduced the insurance in there. This is the insurance for investment, and in case the investment is negative, then the insurance should work. If the investment skyrockets, then the insurance will not work, but our investment will be protected in any way. So once in 2019, it is extremely important for you to be really cautious when it comes to investment in stock markets. So you need to select the most reliable investments, and we should actually opt for Eurobonds and bonds in general. Thanks God, markets are demonstrating some growth, and actually we have some good dialogues held by the head of the Federal Reserve of the United States, and it is really important that even with the profitability at the middle level, we can have some risk, and as a result, as I have calculated, there are some really strong risks for financial instruments. For some of them it is up to -60 or -80 or -70%. So even with those risks, even with some losses, the total profitability for the investment portfolio will anyway make some 8%. Here it is, 8.3%. Besides, it is also important to calculate the risks and also to estimate the balancing of the investment in the segments. I mean the middle risk, high risk and low risk segments. During this paid for training course, we give our students the assignment to do some training to play with the figures and to understand which segment is to be invested in. For example, if you have the middle risk segment, then you have the profitability of 80%, but the losses will be proportionate as well. You can have some -2, -5, or -10%, and it is really important to find the middle value based on your strategy, based on the testing performed, because each individual is to perform the testing in terms of which class of investors he associates himself with, whether it is a high-risk investor, whether this is a guaranteed investor who should opt for a conservative portfolio. So you need to understand whether we are conservative or aggressive or balanced. So it is really crucial to understand who you are. There is actually a formula which allows you to do so. So you take your age and you need to take a corresponding volume of investments and invest it into a guaranteed segment. So these are some bonds, these are Eurobonds, these are bank deposits, and the most secure tools. For example, if you are 50, then you need to invest 50 into the guaranteed and secure tools, and the rest can be allocated among stocks, futures, oil, gold, and so on and so forth. And we teach all of that during our training course. So I would like I would like you to understand that it is never, well, investment is never about some huge interest of revenue generated in no time. Well, yes, indeed, it can happen. So, for example, I can give you my own example. In December, when I saw that the market was ruining, I had lots of financial instruments, and I purchased an insurance to secure myself against the case of the slump in the value of stocks and shares. And I purchased some insurance for the Amazon stocks. And it really worked 120% in 2 weeks. But this was just an insurance to secure myself against a downfall. So I saw a trend reversing and I finally decided to sell this insurance. But it is really important to secure your investments in any case, my dear friends. So in future, I'm also going to teach you the way to compile your investment portfolio as well as the way you protect your own life. I'll tell you about financial reserves and financial security as well as the volume of funds you need for a comfortable investment and so on and so forth. So I want as many people as possible to attend the financial literacy course within the Private Investor Academy, and I will exert each and every effort so that you will also opt for this path of success, my dear friends. We provide the training on Wednesdays, and we'll see how it goes further on. Those of you who will go to Malaysia will be the first to find out the latest news, the tastiest news, the hottest news about the total fund of the Skyway Invest Group, as well as the projects that we're implementing, as well as in the area of the financial literacy. In your personal profile, you don't have this portfolio. Apart from it, in Malaysia, my friends, you will also have an insight into the investment portfolio compiled by the Skyway Invest Group funds, which, as we have previously calculated, provides you with some 26% a day in terms of investments. And Mr. Khavratov has already demonstrated that to you. I have spoken about that many times already, so we'll tell you about the financial tools that are in place there, as well as the facilities that we're going to introduce, including all the upgrades of the investment portfolio and the latest news in this area. Well, basically that's it for the investment portfolio, and you can always address me with questions in Malaysia. Later on, I am inviting you to attend the training webinars, which will be held on Wednesdays. And I will be providing the answers in the above-mentioned areas, including the terms of payments and so on and so forth. My friends, I would like to demonstrate to you that it is extremely important to compile not only your investment portfolio, but also to develop the corresponding mindset, which is typical for a professional investor. So you need to assign a corresponding goal for yourself and develop a corresponding mindset. So it is all in your head. And even if you receive 1 million USD, you will end up losing it in some 1 or 2 years because you're not ready for managing such funds, and you will not be ready to manage it if you don't receive the corresponding training. So you need to be ready for it, and after that you come to us and you learn how to do it, and you need to visualize your goals and you need to do some meditations, but it is extremely important to make the corresponding decision and to start developing yourself personally, which I normally talk about during the training course.
So you just need not only to grow in terms of finance and investment, you also need to grow as a person. So dear friends, in terms of balancing a portfolio, we sometimes give some templates of investment portfolio at support sessions, on Wednesdays. Further on, we're going to have some new information because, of course, we think that the support sessions we have now are not enough, and this is something that we need for good, stable growth, and we need to grow 50 to 100 times this year. We need to grow, we need to develop as a team and as partners, dear friends. And if all of us do that, then we're going to have a wonderful result. 4 years is a period within which we achieved a huge result. So within 5 years, so after 5 years at first, after the 5-year period, some companies fail to be sustainable. So 4th to 5th years of existence of the company are critical. You need to plan very carefully the working period. So you need to work further on and to go to a whole new level of development, dear friends. Of course, there will be instruments available in the personal cabinet, but I won't be getting ahead of myself. You will know everything when the time is right. So, dear friends, okay, so you are asking me to zoom in. I'm ready to zoom in. Oh yeah, by the way, you can zoom in the main portfolio, and you can do so by pressing Ctrl plus wheel. So that's how it works. Hello, dear friends. Those of you who are going to be present at the meetings with Mr. Romanenko in Russia, he will be giving you the basics of creating investment portfolios. So the easiest way to get informed to ask him questions. Twice a month on Wednesdays, Igor is going to be running courses within our private investment academy. So there are also some of the records of them from some of the people who, the people who make purchases for 100 units a month. I think they have access to these seminars. Is it right? Yes, it is. So we're going to offer some additional trainings, but we have yet to get the licenses. I think after February we will already have this accomplished. We'll have updated financial investment courses. I myself will also be giving a lot of courses, and Igor Romanenko will be running courses, so please stay tuned, because we right now at the Academy of Private Investments, we're having a rebranding, and we're entering a new stage, because we have created a significant number of private investors in the past years, and right now we want to cover not just Russian-speaking market, but also the English-speaking market and the Italian-speaking and Spanish-speaking markets, so that the basics of investment that we're providing can be available to a greater audience. So you will see in my presentation the results that we showed for over 5 years, like 5 years and 9 months, and I'll be speaking about the objectives we have. Igor, thank you so much for the portfolio, but please prepare a different balancing of the portfolio, maybe just a scheme, so that we have like different types of market, like American, Russian, Japanese, Chinese, Indian, and so on. So I'd like you to show visually what a balanced portfolio is like. I think we did that kind of presentation in Italy, and we need to prepare that kind of topic for Malaysia as well, so that people understand what a balanced portfolio is. The guarantee of safekeeping of your funds is being able to balance your portfolio. I once saw a portfolios of 2 insurance companies. One of them was quite well known. That was back when I lived in Kiev, and I was lucky enough to see their portfolio. I was horrified after what I saw, and now I understand why the money invested in insurance is just lost whenever the crisis comes, because the portfolio that they had 90% of investments in banking deposits in different banks. About 7% was the stock markets of Ukraine at that point, and 3% were high-risk, medium-risk investments, and I was really taken aback when I saw that. Of course, we know when the economy of the country is in default or when there is crisis, the insurance companies suffer a lot because the banking sector just goes astray. I didn't see the portfolios created in the Russian pension funds, but hopefully I will soon, because our year is dedicated to meetings with, let us say, many investment companies, and to learning about how these investment companies and the pension funds, investment companies that create pension funds. So I hope that I'll be able to take a look at the portfolios of some Russian insurance funds as well. So this is my topic. If any of you are willing to hear the latest updates and about what we have yet to experience in 2019, and we'll have some quite interesting promotions at the end. So, how to live the life of your dream within 1 to 6 months, the life of a rich and well-off person. I will follow up on Igor's topic. I think I don't need to introduce myself. You know me. I'm the Director General CEO of the Skyway Group. And over these 4 years and 9 months, we have opened 51 companies in all these countries that we work in. Why so many companies? Well, first of all, to work, of course, to work sustainably, to further promote Skyway-specific projects in these countries, and to create a global investment portfolio that we are going to introduce to in the near future. You will understand what it looks like, and we're going to work on it this year, and within the coming 2 or 3 years we'll be working on fast-track ways of building Skyway-specific projects, focus projects of Skyway. And one of the objectives for this year is creating for ourselves so that the money gets to the company faster, and it gets faster to the projects that are related with design and construction. So this is going to be a financial system that we're going to set up. So just to follow up on the invest portfolio, what I suggest is, one, just please take that down. Take a pencil or a pen, piece of paper, and take that down. So the 8 rules of private investor, 8 principles of constantly growing success, how $1 turns into $1 million. That's a video course. Then the basics of capitalization. That's also something you need to study. To understand what a portfolio is, you need to understand what the basics of capitalization are. So there is a course, Basics of Capitalization. Soon I'm going to tell you where you can find it. But you really need to take a pen. You need to have a calculator. You can see it, so that you can have like 15 zeros there available. So like a big one. So, and there you go, calculating capitalization. There are going to be examples, and those of you who want to develop appropriate financial investment thinking have to study the basics of capitalization. Please put a plus here, those of you who did the homework in capitalization and who calculated their financial plan for like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And please write for how long you calculated your investment plan. Oh yeah, I see people calculating for 10, for 30. Okay, now those of you who did the homework, yeah, 5, 15, 30, 40, wonderful, yeah, I see good figures here. And from today, let's say. So, please write to me what you felt when you saw your capital growing, and in what way what you felt when you saw that picture. So basically, yeah, how you felt when you saw the gradual growing of your capitalization when you calculated the growth plan. Okay, yeah, so somebody was really fascinated. Any other reactions? Wonderful, euphoric, okay. Oh, it was freaking awesome. I heard music playing. I didn't believe at first, and then I was really amazed. Confidence, felt nothing. Well, if you felt nothing, that means you didn't do your homework. Because, you know, those of you who do the homework have the same emotion of amazement and confidence. You know, those of you who do the homework, they understand and they feel confidence in the fact that it doesn't matter what the economy of the world or a country or a city develops like. It plays no role what currency is the first: dollar, yuan, ruble, pound, sterling, euro, and so on. When you do that homework, you realize, you understand, you're confident in the fact that you are going to be the first for yourself and nobody is going to be ahead of you because you are creating your own financial plan. And then this feeling of amazement and admiration, of, you know, especially among the people who have one job and who don't really make much money. I think that was an interesting quote that I heard back in Italy. It is really dangerous to have just one source of income, because whenever you lose that income source, like your job, you feel panic, you feel apathetic, and lack of confidence. One of the things we teach in the Academy of Private Investor and Skyway Invest Group is having several sources of income. The reason we talk about investment portfolio in the first place is that you are able, to create investment portfolios on your own. Please take that down. I, Andrei Hovratov, give you 1 million bucks. Please write that down. 1, 6 zeros. You know, you can even write down 1, then some space, 3 zeros, some space, 3 zeros. Like, you know, of pounds, rubles, whatever. Units. Put that down as units. So, based on what you heard from Igor today and what offers you had over 3 months, let's say, please feel free to distribute that million over as many things as you want. Maybe you invest 200,000 units somewhere, maybe 100,000 units in some other thing. So then, yeah, on the left side of your piece of paper, put the list of your investment targets, and then try to calculate that over months, you know, and see how your investment evolves over time. So I suggested you to learn something about the sources of income and how working with the Skyway Invest as a partner is beneficial. And a very important point, write that down, a very important point. Within 3 months, please study the private investment guidebook. So you can purchase these courses here, the distant courses, for example. So different investment plans, and you can pay in installments, for example, like 10 units per month within 10 months. So in different plans, you can pay, for example, the lump sums of 50 units. So you need to do all the homework that is asked that is required in these courses. You have to practice regularly, and I assure you, you're going to form appropriate thinking. So once again, you need to do all the homework that is required in the courses. Everything that I give you, everything that's given there. Again, practice regularly. So what I mean by regular practice is the instruments that you get, write that down. And out of the million units you had, for example, if 100,000 was allocated somewhere, maybe you can keep 90 there and 10 can be spent on some other instruments. So think about what you invest where, especially given the new instruments that are emerging. And then in here, you're going to take a look at your portfolio. Let's call that your portfolio. Then, number 4, you have to be regularly going through the trainings of IT Finance Genius. And then you can become a moderator of IT Finance Genius. So this is the game training. You need to become a host or a moderator. You need to participate in 5 kinds of trainings. So you have participated in 5 trainings, and then there are several objectives, like buying your dream or creating passive income. And another important point, you need to ask people to become a moderator. So for example, you just ask the moderator that's doing your training, and you say, I want to invite the people I know, and I want to be the moderator in that. And then, yeah, you have an option. If there is nothing like that available in your city, so you can just set yourself an objective of that game training. The more you play this game, the faster you'll be able to form appropriate thinking, and the better you'll be able to avoid the mistakes that you might encounter in future. I played that game a lot of times. Last time when I worked with Dmitry Ivchenko, so yeah, actually I think that I can allow him to tell how to train the moderators, so the materials are ready. So I tried to play as a player, not as a moderator. And I didn't succeed in my dream, but I saw some nuances that happened within the game. And I analyzed that, and I was thinking, like, why did I do this thing in a game, whereas I never did something like that in reality? So however much of a financial genius you could be, even if you're a moderator, I sometimes recommend that you just sit down and participate, and try to participate as a player, not as a moderator. Take the player's perspective and think at how you do some things. I saw a moderator who never participated as a player, and I asked him, how could you ever be a moderator? I was really astonished. How could a person be a moderator if that person had never even played? 1 to 10 times, that could be enough participation as a player. So, and you should also regularly attend trainings from Private Investment Academy and SWIG funds. So there are a number of trends where you will be able to attract people, and they're going to have different marketing from SWIG. That you will also be able to earn some commissions. There won't be really so many levels there, but still, there are going to be like 1, 2, 3 levels. So how many of you put down what you need to do? You did? Not just a screenshot, on your mobile phone or a picture, but you wrote that down physically on a paper, right? So, how many of you are going to do what you've written down? Please write, yes, I will. So, how many of you are going to participate in the distant course of the Academy of Private Investment? Okay, nice. Now, how many of you know the 8 rules of private investor? Okay, nice. Oh, so if you do, please write the first rule to me. Formulate it, please, those of you who know. Oh, the newcomers, nice, nice. 10%. Investment and investing, well, it tells me nothing. Please formulate it clearly. Please, Mr. Makarov. Okay, so the difference between financial independence and financial freedom. So what's the difference? Okay, so yeah, Mr. Yurshenko, that's right. So financial freedom and financial independence, what's the difference? please tell me the 6th rule of private investor. Oh, Alyssa, you're also a newcomer. Wonderful, congratulations. That means you have an opportunity to take on this obligation and commitment and start learning. Don't be greedy. Greed and laziness leads you to being ruined and to losing all your money. Wonderful. Be financially disciplined in terms of investment.
So when we meet, I will be speaking about the 8 rules of a private investor, and the one who will remember them first will receive a prize, will receive a bonus. So greediness and laziness will leave you ruined. Well, my dear friends, let us proceed. How can we live the life of our dream in some 2-3 months? Please give me some feedback if you want to achieve a dream in some 1 to 3 months. Please write that down. Now, please write to me if you're ready to do what I will tell you now. Please write I am ready if you are. Nice. Let us continue then. Well, an average man who lives in a small apartment or in a small house, who drives a regular car or who takes a shuttle bus or the underground, naturally wants to have better living conditions. He naturally wants to drive a better car. And look, what is the problem? Why don't many people achieve this dream? Those of you who really want to improve their life, those of you who want to achieve your dream, please write that to me. If you don't have your own apartment, then you want to have it, naturally. Because you need it to improve your life. You need to live under better conditions. You want to drive a nice automobile. So put some 5 pluses if you really are motivated to have a house located at the seaside. So let us imagine an average individual, because those who already have an apartment, those who have a huge house, a detached house, those who have some major business, those who have a number of automobiles, have dreams that are quite different, because a lot of people, or a lot of millionaires in the world have a new mindset and they think differently. They think in a different way because their mindset is different. And we shall discuss that a bit later. So one of our objectives is to bring the harmful production facilities onto the orbit of the Earth. So this is the objective, to help the humanity. But a regular individual, a regular guy, wants to live a better life. He wants to drive a better car, and he wants to travel more often. I once was to Italy, and my partner's children asked him, "Dad, when are we going to have our own swimming pool?" They actually live in a detached house, but they don't have a swimming pool. Well, probably you want a car because you normally use the underground service. Or you probably want to have a rented car, or you probably want to have a car with a driver as an option. So please give me some feedback if you do. Those of you who want to be free from work need to do their favorite job, and this will make you free from tedious work forever. Well, look, my friends, one of the erroneous ideas is that when people come to the multi-level marketing, they are enabled to make some money in some short period of time, and this will provide them with the funds to buy a house and to buy an automobile. Yes, indeed, many people do so, but I want to ask you a different question. Do you want to buy your own car? Do you want to buy your own apartment? Or do you want to live a comfortable life in a nice apartment and to drive a beautiful automobile? So you want to live the life of the affluent. Look, one of my conclusions, the one I made some 5 years ago, for sure. Yes, I made this conclusion some 7 years ago. So I joined the multi-level marketing system and I made more than $1 million in a year. I had a house built, I had some automobiles, and I worked really hard because I wanted to achieve everything. So you can easily achieve whatever you need. You need to struggle for it because it takes struggle to achieve good results. And sometimes you have some situations like I did in your life. I lost my money some 5 years and I went bankrupt some 3 times because I was struggling and I had to achieve some results. But you need to change your mindset. You need to want and to receive what you want. So the universe will give you whatever you need if you truly want it. So if you want to buy an apartment and improve your living conditions, so please write to me what is the price of the real estate that you want to purchase in some units, in some US dollars. So if you want to improve your living conditions, please write it down to me. How much will it cost you? 120,000 US dollars, 30,000 US dollars, 110,000 USD, 2 million, as I get it, 200,000, 250,000 euro, 120, 1 million, okay, 120,000, 3 million rubles, as I get it, 100,000 units, 150,000. So the average is 150,000. That's the average value. So on average it is 130. What about renovation? If you want to renovate your house, if you want to refurbish it, how much will that cost you? Please write that down to me if you have done some calculations previously. 50,000 US dollars. So if you want to purchase an apartment for 100,000 USD, so 50 will make, well, the refurbishment will require some 50,000 additional. So you can purchase the real estate without some renovation works done beforehand. So this will require some additional funds being invested into the reconstruction and refurbishment. So it is 5,000 USD for the renovation works. Well, that's quite probable. Let us calculate 100,000 USD plus 50,000 USD. So all of that totals 150,000. Now what is the price of the automobile that you would like to purchase? 60,000 it is, or 70,000, 50,000, 12,000, 7 million rubles, 15,000, okay, 100,000 US dollars. That's a nice car. So I guess you understand that if the car costs 100,000 USD, then the upkeep of it will cost some 20 or 25,000 US dollars a year. So the 25,000, the 25% of the total price of the car is the cost of the maintenance works. So for example, the car will eat up a hell of a lot of fuel. So you have 100,000 plus 50,000 plus 25,000. So please give me some feedback. What is your real income, your monthly income? $500 again, 1,000, 50,000 rubles, 30,000 rubles, 400 US dollars, 2,000 units, 120,000 US dollars for Galina Shirokova. Your income is 120,000 US dollars. Is it true? A monthly income. Now let us do some calculations. Take a calculator and proceed to work. When do you want to achieve your dream? Please write that down to me. In how many years do you want to achieve it? In a year. So let us take $200,000. You want to make it in 1 year. You divide it by 12 months equals 16,000. This is the amount of money you need to make in a month in order to achieve your dream. So this is just to achieve a dream, but you also need to have some funds to eat, to feed yourself. So some of you have written that you want to achieve your dream in 2025. Some of you want to achieve it in 3 years. So you can take your own sum. You can have 1 million, for example. 200,000 divided by 3 years, 63,000 per year divided by 12 equals $5,055. So this is the amount of money you need to put aside every year in order to achieve a dream in 3 years. Yes, indeed, $5,000 is the income required for a millionaire. So if you make $5,000 a month, then you live the life of a millionaire, indeed. Now let us do the following calculation. Will you last for some 3 or 5 years? Why do many people change companies? Because they work for one company, they don't manage to achieve their dream, they fail, they don't purchase their car, they don't purchase their new apartment that they wanted. And I know such individuals, they spend some 20 years in the multi-level business, and I know an individual like that who has swapped up some 22 companies, each of them having splendid opportunities and offering splendid products. I know individuals who have changed some 12 or 15 companies in their career. So the problem, my friends, is not about the company, it's not about its business plan either. I'm not a leader of the Herbalife company once, and I learned from him for a while. So he is still working for this company. He has the top level within this company. He told me the following: there is no difference in which company you work for, and it does not really matter what business plan you have. What really matters is what you want and to what length you can go, to what length you are ready to go in order to achieve it. So let us take 2,100, or for example, an apartment for 100,000 and a car for 50,000. So in order to maintain your car, you need to spend some $10,000 for its repair and maintenance. So I mean, some summer and winter tires, the technical maintenance, the change of the filter and the oil. So the total cost of the repair works equals some 25% of the overall cost of the automobile. The same is true about the apartment. You need to pay for the housing and utilities. So in order to live a different life, you need some $1,500 in order to pay the utilities and in order to maintain your car. Now let us take a look now. Has any of you ever bothered to see how much it costs to rent an apartment of your dream? Please write it down. Write down yes if you have looked for the apartment of your dream and if you considered renting it. So please write how much is rent. What is the monthly rent for it? So it's 90,000, $1,500. This is the amount you can spend in order to rent an ample apartment. So what is the rent? 21 million rubles, $300,000. This is enough to rent a huge house, a huge detached house, the one you can see on the screen actually, a huge residential area. So my dear friends, if you have ever considered renting an apartment of your dream, for example a house, a detached house, I always recommend before constructing a house you need to rent a similar one. So do rent an apartment which is similar to the one of your dream and live in it for a while, I'd like to assure you that having traveled in many countries of the world, I've seen situations when there is a huge villa with a swimming pool. It can be rented for 3 or 3.5 thousand US dollars. So it is 250 or 500 square meters in area. So it is 6-20 square meters, which is completely enough for living a nice life. It's not clear, so it's 3.5 thousand US dollars maximum. So if the rent is 90,000 rubles, then 1.5 thousand is the price. Have you ever considered renting a car of your dream? And have you ever bothered to find out what the price is? Let us do some calculations. So I'm taking a pen now, I'm taking a sheet of paper, and I'm proceeding to calculate. So we can rent a nice apartment or a nice detached house for 1.5 thousand USD, plus the price of the car, 25,000 per day. 25 per day. Is it rubles or what? 100 US dollars a day. Well, I don't know what kind of car it is. When I lived abroad, I rented a nice automobile. It was Toyota Prado or Honda CR-V. Really nice vehicles. In Europe, you can easily rent a BMW or a Mercedes for 1,500 US dollars per month. If you rent it for a day, well, a BMW can be rented for 5,000 rubles a day, 24 hours. Well, for example, if you have never driven such a car, then you need to rent a Toyota Camry or any other vehicle. Let us calculate the total. Let us add some 1.5 thousand, totals 3,000 US dollars. How much do you pay for some utility services? How much do you pay a parlor maid or housemaid? Well, a Bentley costs 1,200 US dollars. If you want to rent a Bentley, if you want to drive a Bentley all the time, then we need to discuss it as well. 700 units. Okay, up to 500. Some 200 US dollars a month. So a housemaid will cost you some 200 US dollars or up to 1,000 US dollars per month, equals 4,000 US dollars per month. How much do you need to pay for food? What about nutrition? Well, certainly you can live in any kind of house. You can live in a tent in the countryside as an option. It all depends on your aspirations, but an average guy, an average dude wants something different. He wants something more. Well, for example, you want to buy a Bentley and you want to buy it this year. Okay, let us take a look. Let us calculate. 1,000 for food equals 5,000 US dollars in order to live the life of your dream. Well, in real terms, based on my experience, I can tell you that for the first time in my life I understood what to do. I rented a house for 1.5 thousand US dollars, and I purchased a car which cost me 4% of my yearly income. But I faced the second bankruptcy, so whatever I had was taken away from me, and as a result I spent a year driving a rented car for 750 US dollars. This was a E-Class petrol-driven Mercedes, 2.2 liters cc. So 1.5 plus the car is 2.2 thousand plus the salary of a housemate, depending on how many days she works for you, equals 2.8 plus the nutrition, $600 equals 3.5 thousand USD. So if you make 1,000 US dollars today, then you need to increase your revenue 3.5 times in order to live the life of your dreams. And finally, in some 1 or 2 or 6 months, you can live the life of your dream.
So I just told you about my own experience. And that was when I set an objective to myself. I was renting an apartment then, but I said to myself, you know, I want to have a house. And then, you know, I was renting an apartment at $800. It was really cool. It had 3 bedrooms and so on, but I wanted a house. And so I found a house. They wanted 1,800. I bargained a bit, and so we ended up at 1,500. So, dear friends, then the reason why I'm telling you about that is you need to grow your needs. And the needs is such that if you do not have your needs satisfied this month, it's almost as if you died. Those of you who noticed one that you get just enough money to spend this month. You just get the money that you need to spend this month. Who had this? Oh, you did, right? So, if this is really so, then the next question is, why not set yourself an objective and increase your needs? So start growing your needs. I came to search for a house. And I was thinking, okay, in 3 months I'm going to live in a house. That was in 2012. I spent a month searching for houses. I found a house, and my income increased so that I had enough to pay 50% of the realtor. So, and then we could move to a new house, and then when I moved to Thailand, search for new houses. So, you know, I had an objective to have a house because I didn't want to live in a hotel. I rented the best thing I could find at 1,200, 1,300 in Thailand, you know, where the houses are really small. Next to the sea, we could get there by car. Then I moved to closer to a region I really wanted to, near Bang Tao. I found another house, which was 2,500. And just the moment I set myself an objective to rent this house, my income increased. Then further on, I wanted to rent a car, Toyota Prado. So when I was getting back to Russia, I was really anxious that I wouldn't be able to find a house that would meet my needs, like with a swimming pool and so on. But surprisingly, I did. That was in 2006. That was recognized as one of the best in terms of landscape design and architecture. So I saw it when I came, and I was really astonished, and I rented it right away. So, you know, and of course there was a difference in terms of how much I paid back there in Thailand and what I paid in Russia, but still. And when I came to Sevastopol, I came there and I rented a house. So you can take a look at my channel, you know, it is palace-like. Why I'm telling you that? Imagine that you already live in the apartment or the house of your dream. Imagine you're driving your own car each day. What kind of attitude to work you're going to have? Should this already be true? Please write this. What internal vibe you're going to have when you work? Confidence? Ease? Yeah, wake up in a nice place, you hear the birds sing, have wonderful view out of your window. You work in a different way. You already live the life of your dream. Once I told Dmitry Счастливый that, and he told me, you spend so much money to rent things, why don't you want to buy things? And I told him, I once built a house in Kiev which cost me $450,000 when I then took a lot of loans and became bankrupt. This house was arrested by the courts, so this was confiscated by the collectors. Now the question is, dear friends, the things the banks typically say, come to us, we're going to give you a loan. It is better to live in your own housing than to rent something. People hear that, they get a loan, they buy an apartment, but they have to pay 30% of their own money. If the flat is 100,000, you need to pay 30,000 of your own. You got that, right? So a car, for example, consumer credit, you also need to pay the 30,000 down payment first. So again, you need to take this money somewhere. I saw people who used their credit cards, so they purchased a lot and then they lived in an apartment. Yeah, again, so they bought apartments, they bought cars, and what is most important, the person is renting an apartment, he owes nothing to anybody. Okay, so if nothing works, then you just stop renting a car and you use the subway or a taxi. That's the worst that can happen. Well, the worst thing ever, you just move to a cheaper apartment. That's it. When the banks tell you that you're buying the house of your dream or the car of your dream, you need to understand that if you're involved in a loan, this is not your property. This is the bank's property. Not so long ago, via WhatsApp, I received a message about the case when the girl tried to sue a bank that the bank did not ensure security of the fur coat she purchased in credit, so that it was eaten by moths. So basically she won the case because it was recognized the bank should have instructed her how to ensure the physical integrity of the fur coat. So if a person takes a loan, this is the bank's property. Not until you have paid the credit is it yours. So there are a number of companies that offer housing by cooperation systems and so on, and this is nothing different from credit. So basically pay 30% now and you get a flat if it's your turn. Dear friends, you owe them. Just write that in comments if anybody experienced that. Whenever you take a credit, your income drops 2 times. And you're planning that the income would increase, but it's actually decreased. Did anybody have that? Did you? Well, I did. So I was shocked why this happened. This is the philosophy of finance that holds the answer. When you come and take the easy money, there's even a proverb, So there is a saying that you borrow somebody else's money, but you return your own. So you take the money that is too easy. You didn't put any effort into making that money. At the energy level, you have a kind of a burden on you because you did not put energy into getting the money. But when the person sets an objective, like I want that car, I want that flat, or in 3 months I want to be living in that flat and driving that car, first they reproduce money mentally, they throw the energy into the space, they interact with the universe, some connections start working, and the person becomes the moneymaker. And in our country, well, in our company, the person who makes the money is the person who has a lot of meetings and involves a lot of partners. So basically you can plan that. So what happens is, when a person takes easy money, like a credit, yes, they're living in their own flat, but this is an immense burden. Those are like financial handcuffs, slavery, that the whole world and the whole financial banking system have immersed the humanity in. Hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, we had physical slavery. Right now we have financial. What is characteristic, ladies and gentlemen, is that if that person has taken the credit for a car, for a flat, everything is seemingly fine, but then there are some cataclysms and disasters. And the rule is that after a person has taken credits, money are really hard to earn after that. Please write that down in comments, those of you who took credits or loans and who found it difficult to earn money after that. Please share your experience with us. Yeah, you see, I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, the reason why I'm telling you that is because I went through this myself. So there is a crisis point where the banks or collectors take away your house, take away a car, and then you get back to the rented apartment with the family, and they still owe a lot of money. That would take like 10 to 15, maybe to 20 years to return. And collectors are calling them every day and writing and getting on your nerve. Please write in the comments if you know the people who have been in such situations. Yeah. Somebody is saying, I took a credit to buy shares and well, actually returned it. Okay, please, guys, are you crazy? I forbid you to take credit for buying investment instruments, especially Skyway. Yeah, you have to put aside 10% of the money you make. For example, what you make in SWIG or in Skyway, you mustn't take credit to invest. This is a disaster, a real disaster, both for the company as well. Sometimes you see, there are some nice financial companies, and then they break down because 50 to 60% of their investors took credit in a bank to invest because of the high interest rate that was promised. So what they did is they invested, hoping to return the loan and benefit from higher interest from their investment, and then the company collapses and they are left with the credits they're unable to pay off. So guys, when within 3 to 6 months, somebody within 1 month are going to move in the house to the house of their dream, or maybe before renting the car, if you don't have enough money, first you start with the economy class taxi, then you go to the taxi of the ultra class that is going to have a driver, a permanent driver, that's going to be taking an individual wherever they need it. That's not too often, so you have a special driver assigned to you. That's a high-class taxi. So you're starting to live the life of a millionaire. Dear friends, so what happens is when you're living that life, when you're living in that state, you are able to productively work. And the people who see you, imagine you love cars, and then you take 3 months to drive one car, then you start making more money, and then you change this car for another car, you rent a more expensive car. For example, you can take, Lexuses or BMWs, Mercedes, Bentleys, you can rent all these. You can rent them. Okay, who cares? It's not yours. You're driving it. That's the thing. Today you're driving Bentley, tomorrow you're driving Lexus, and the day after tomorrow you're driving Maybach. But of course, you need to have appropriate income for that, because it takes about 10 to 15,000 of monthly income to drive a Maybach or Bentley. And for somebody it might be not reasonable to spend 30% of your monthly income on driving a Bentley, which may be like 5,000 a month. Well, But you know, if it's important for you, then yeah, okay. If your income drops, then yeah, okay, you're not driving a Bentley anymore, but you're just ordering the ultra class or even economy class taxi, and that's the only thing that changes. So to live the life of your dream, you need to do the following. You need to write what your dream is for like 12, 24, 36, 60 months. Second, your specific objectives for 12, 24, 36, 60 months. Number 3, what kind of lifestyle you want to be living within 12, 24, 36, or 60 months. Number 4, what's your income now? Just what we've discussed right now. What will it cost to rent your dream right now? What does it mean to rent your dream? You want to live at the seaside in a bungalow. No? Okay, just arrange to rent it for the summer, or for example in winter. In autumn or in winter, they're actually significantly cheaper to rent. Just as I tried to rent it in Alushta. You know, in winter months, it turned out to be like a lot cheaper, in fact. The house I lived in Sevastopol, it was 300k in summer and 250k in winter because the swimming pool was not available. It would take Baltic countries like Riga, Lithuania, Vilnius. Though there was a time when I wanted to rent an apartment there. Actually, you can rent a car there, for example, at 500, 700 euros per month in the Baltic countries. Number 6, how many times will you need to increase your income to start living the life of your dream within 1, 3, 6 months? For example, you need a certain income, a certain spending rather, so that means you need to grow your income respectively. Okay, let's calculate. If you have 100 rendezvous per month, business rendezvous, not product rendezvous. Okay, please write that in comments. If any of you had the experience of having 100 physical rendezvous or more than 100 physical rendezvous. Yeah, I think people understand what I'm talking about. So please tell me, how many clients out of these 100 said, yes, I want to be having business and became investors? Oh, we see we have Armand Smolniaks of 80% or 80%. Okay, Mr. Makarov, you have 3%, 3 people out of 100. Mr. Makarov, you have to work on your rendezvous. Because 20 or 30%, just, you know, if you're just having rendezvous, showing the presentation, showing how much money you can be making, 3%, well, it's probably if you were only selling the shares of Skyway, then yeah, it could be probable. But if you're selling the dream business out of 120 or 30 people, that's the minimum you need to have with the average check of $500,000. So yeah, have 100 rendezvous per month. 20 people are going to be investors partners. That's like 500 per each. 20,000 is your amount, and you have a certain commission, which will be 800 if that's the case. Please, next month, practice to have 200 rendezvous. Then that's 40,000 by 8%. That's already quite a lot. So, guys, you have already made 4,000 bucks. In a couple of months, you can already go and try to search for the houses or flats you want to rent. Specific action. Number 8, what emotions would you be experiencing if you already lived the life of your dream? The feelings of confidence, the feeling of being very emotionally, like feeling high spirits and so on. So, number 9, what you're going to do to go through the training events or trainings on investment literacy and discipline. Unfortunately, many of the people who achieve significant financial success actually lost their money, because the primary thing is knowing how to create your own investment portfolio and creating your own assets, knowing the 8 rules. Because if a person earned millions, 8 million, and without having any backup or hidden stash of 100,000, then everything is lost for them. The 10% they put aside is something that they need to really think about. And actually, over 5 years, these assets that were put aside can be multiplied. This is an elementary, simple thing.
So you need to ask yourself a question, what kind of training do you want to receive? And take a look at what this provides you with once you pass that training. What happens to your income and what percentage of growth do you receive when you start investing into your investment training, especially when it comes to the work with Skyway Investment Group and when it comes to the Private Investment Academy. I am bringing up the examples of our SWIG leaders. Next time, I will give you some examples of the individuals who entered the top 30 of the best companies in the year, and we will discuss the top 20. We'll discuss the examples of the tops, including Armand, who became the best specialist of the company. So Armand started in 2014 and invested 14,000 in education. When he passed his first training, he asked me, Andrei, what am I going to do now? And I told him that he needed to look for some other trainers as well. He needed to train in different areas of investment because he needed to grasp the best from the best. And he did that. He invested a huge sum of money into training during his first year of training. So let us take a look at 2014 and 2016. His income makes some $700,000 US. Let us calculate that in investment terms. The income is really huge. It is 14,000 plus something percent a year, which equals 1,190% a month and 39.6% a day. This is the income received from the investment made, plus the bonuses within the Skyway company. Aman has purchased and he's purchased a lot and he has made a huge sum of money. He has also established his own portfolio, which is about $300,000 US. So no matter what happens to Skyway, no matter what, generally speaking, Armand will still have his portfolio, and he is also providing the investment training to a number of individuals around the world. He teaches how to develop an investment strategy, and so on and so forth. Within less than 5 years, Armand has built his own mindset, which is the mindset of a billionaire. Let us take a look at Jamila Jusubekova. She started with investing $1,000 US in her education, and she has received 49,000% in a year and 1,190% a month. So this is the income she received for the investment made originally. 36% of income a day, my dear friends. Yes, indeed, this is a huge active income or semi-active income. Let us brand it this way, because whenever we develop some structures, we see the following practice. For example, I come to Kazakhstan once a year, and Kazakhstan is actually my asset. So what makes the multi-level crowd investment different from multi-level business? Because multi-level crowd investment is about investing into education, finding clients, and in a while these clients will also become eager to act as entrepreneurs. They also pass some corresponding training which turns them into businessmen, and they develop their own small businesses and later on turn into top leaders. So at the end of the day, they create their own business and you receive some remuneration for it. So in the beginning we work quite actively, and later on we start receiving some passive income from the structures established. And this is what makes us unique. This is what makes the investment business different from the rest. Besides, you receive some shares. And if we take Almond's portfolio, some 40 or 30 investment instruments are present in there. Almond has invested in some tools that burned up entirely, but others generated huge profits. So the balance made for the portfolio brings some good results. Petro joined us in 2016. He joined the first online master profit course. So he made some $400,000 in 3 years, which is 29,000% in 3 years, 9,000% a year, 800% a month. 27% a day. My dear friends, 27% a day. This is the income for the investment made in the education. And this is why the investment in education is the investment would generate the highest profits in the world. Because if you receive some knowledge, no one will take it away from you. No one will burn down your business because your knowledge is impossible to destroy. Whenever you reach some crisis, whenever you go bankrupt, like I did it some 5 times in my life, you always go further than you were actually at the point of bankruptcy. My dear friends, apart from that, the peculiarity of multi-level crowd investing is in the fact that there are certain assets which are established by our partners, and besides, the partners can generate some income through their portfolio. So if you want to buy more, you should never take some loans in a bank. Instead, you can invest some 50% of your income into the shares of the company. You need to invest into new education products. You need to receive some bonuses further on. This is why it is really profitable to invest into your education, especially the education provided by Skyway Invest Group. Now the question is, how do we correctly offer business investments to others? In your personal account you have some tools that are well described. Moreover, we have created a new product which is called Master Profit. Let us take a look at capitalization of SWIG investors. We, as the Skyway Invest Group, have discharged all our obligations towards the investors. The investors invest their funds in order to receive some training, in order to receive some information, and we provide those. They are always available in the personal accounts. They can be downloaded at any point of time. Besides, we provide some shares of the Skyway company for free as a present. So if we take a prototype, well, Skyway is a prototype of the stock exchange, but we are a prototype of a broker, and we have completely discharged all our obligations towards the investors. Besides, in the beginning we had a really steep margin. I used this revenue to purchase even more shares of Skyway Invest Group. We developed our reserve fund. We purchased some other instruments as well. So my personal investments ranged from, well, we're at the level of $26,000. In 2019, our capital is 11.5 million. In summer, it was 10 million at his, and it has demonstrated 1.5 million growth. So the growth is 45,140% in 4 years, which is 9,000 per year, which is 770 per month, which is 25.8% a day. This is the growth of the capital for the investments made by me. Moreover, it's not about my personal investments only. It is just a share of those. So we have a share of the investment in the portfolio, and I act as a leader, as the investor, as the head of the team. But I also came up with a corresponding declaration during the establishment of the fund. You can take a look at the video which I disseminated during the establishment of the fund. So the revenue can be invested into the instruments and be used as a insurance. We were asked many a time the following question: what happens if Skyway does not skyrocket? So we are going to establish a portfolio, and we were going to establish a portfolio which would be used as insurance, and it would be used as a fund that would be shared among all the investors. But today we do not only manage those assets, we grow them all the time, exponentially. We invest in different areas that provide us with high revenues. And this is what we are going to discuss in detail in Malaysia on the 9th and the 10th of March. And we're going to discuss the prospects for future development. What am I driving at? All investors, all our partners, all leaders, all the CEOs, all the top leaders, and the board members are the individuals who have affected the growth of the company, and they have some share in the portfolio. Yes, indeed, a huge share, some 50% belongs to the Skyway, stands for the Skyway shares, but there are a lot of other instruments there. Some instruments allow us to invest moderate funds but ensure significant growth, because this is one of the directions that we are working on now. I was asked the following question in Contacte. It sounded as follows: Andrei, you told us that you have some 25% of income per day. That's a silly question of illiterate individuals. Can you show me some place where you make some 25% a day? We don't make some 25%. It is our company, our fund, growing in 4 years, 25% a day. This is the capital of our fund. This is what the growth of the company about. Besides, many of the instruments will generate some dividends in the nearest future, which we will disseminate among our co-investors, who will be holders of our tokens that we are going to launch in the nearest future through the Skyway Invest Group Fund. We will tell you about that in detail in Malaysia. Besides, this will be discussed at the Millionaires meeting. Dear friends, I recommend you to go online and see what companies have demonstrated similar growth and capitalization rate in the recent 5 years, not a single one. Next one, the SEI company. Today, we've been informed that the capitalization of the company made $5 billion US. Some 5 years ago, the fund was opened, and I have a video which explains how the dividends will be backed. And you can have it. It is in the open access on my channel. So the value of the company will make some $3 billion US once we fully implement the Skyway project. However, today, or half a year ago, 6 months ago, the capitalization made $5 billion US, which is the assessment of the main means of the company. Once we complete the construction of the fast-track system, the value of the company will grow from 5 billion to 50 billion, or even more, probably up to 100 billion US. So in February, on the 20th of February, we launched the Skyway website. On the 21st, I was introduced to this website. I also met Mr. Unitsky, and the final meeting was held on the 25th, will be held on the 28th of February, and I will demonstrate a new spreadsheet explaining how we are going to ensure the growth of the dividends, as well as explain the prospects for future development. So we have some foundation, we have some solid foundation historically. Take a look, some 5 years ago, the investors invested some $100 million US in the company. 50% stood for the marketing and bonuses, and 50% stood for the construction of the technical park, as well as whatever belongs to the company, including the production facilities. Besides, we're going to have some construction in the United Arab Emirates, the Russian Federation, Belarus, and so on and so forth. So how do we calculate the capitalization of the growth? How do we assess the general growth of the capital? The growth of the capital is not as easy to envision. Some guys with traditional financial education told me that I'm quite erroneous in calculation, but I believe it is the right way to do. And the universities actually teach to calculate erroneously and wrongly. Igor Romanenko has said it many times. Why do we calculate in this fashion, and why do they calculate erroneously? Because according to their calculations, according to their estimates, the average inflation in 40 years is some 4% a year. So in 40 years, it made probably some, I don't know, 40% in 40 years. That's the average inflation, or some 8%. But the real inflation in 40 years made more than 135%. That's the real inflation rate. So this is the way traditional financial institutions, academies, and universities teach. So, my dear friends, the formula is as follows: 5 billion minus 100 million multiplied by 100 equals 4,900% in 4.5 years. We divide that by 4.5 years equals 1,088%. This is the yearly growth. We divide it by 12 months equals 90%. This is the monthly growth rate. We divide it by 30 days, and the average growth in a day is 3%. So that's the indicator. Once again, we are a technological company. You can take a look at all the technological companies that ever operated, including Apple, Amazon, which was repurchased, as Igor said. And it will never, the investment in Amazon will not pay back even in 100 years' time. There is a number of other companies that are repurchased. I recently talked to Igor, and he teaches about the way you analyze companies. Some 5 years ago or 8 years ago, I did some training, and I always preached the following. It is really bad that you need to do some proper analysis on the stock exchange in order to understand the way they operate. But today there are some new technologies which allow us to assess a company and the way and the extent to which it is repurchased. So the company Amazon is repurchased to such an extent that it will not repay your investment in 100 years' time. So what is the most profitable investment for you? Can you invest some $10 in anything, or some 100 in a year and receiving 1% of the yearly dividend? So you can have some twofold growth in a year, and it will make some 200% in a year. Or as an option, being a skilled investor, you can invest some $100 and you will receive some $10, so which means that you have some absolutely different interest rates. So what is most profitable for you as being a skilled investor? Next, if you worry about speculative investment, the second option is more profitable, but it's quite erroneous because you do not have the company as an asset. It is not really available for you, so you need to look for another one. If you invest $10 and receive some extra $10, this means that this company is growing. It has really high dividends, which means that it has really good demand. It costs some $100 and you'll have a share in this company, and the dividend will be naturally high. So in February, I'll demonstrate to you, my dear friends, necessarily how in the nearest 15 years these shares and dividends of Skyway Invest Group will grow. All the stockholders will receive a lot of bonuses in the nearest 15 years. My dear friends, let us go back to Warren Buffett, who recently answered the question related to the Amazon company. So the question was, everyone is buying and purchasing, but you are purchasing and holding your stocks, and you are a extremely well-off individual. So what's the secret behind your affluence? He answered the question in the following way. Not very few individuals want to become rich slowly. So that's the right investment mindset. That's the right way to think. Correct development of the investment portfolio is about generating wealth slowly. Yes, indeed, you will not become rich quick. But affluence and richness is a philosophical notion. So if we take you as an example, any of you, if we give you $1 million US, will you become rich? Well, for example, imagine me giving you $1 million US, will you become rich? Please give me some feedback, yes or no. Imagine that I give you $1 million each. Will you become rich enough? Well, you'll have money, but you'll not become rich, because being rich is about the state of your mind, it's about the state of mind. So if you take away everything from a rich individual, he'll generate even more richness. So if you have some money, this does not mean that you're rich. I've seen many people who have a lot of money, but they do not have health, so they spent all their wealth on their health.
That is why wealth, I showed you the 5 fingers of true wealth. The first is your health. The second is your attitude to yourself, to your country, to people, to other countries, to the planet on the whole, to all the living things. That's the attitude. So, are you rich in terms of attitude? So, there is a phrase to the effect that there is not such thing as one hug or 2 hugs or 3 hugs. Hugging is something that can be forever. The third point is your how emotionally rich you are. The fourth is your financial wealth. And the fifth is your fate, how rich you are in terms of what is predetermined for you. So if you only have one finger, the finance, that's just one of 5. There were a lot of people who earned a lot of money, and Amund can testify to the fact that there were many people who made a lot of money but had to use the help of psychologists because they were emotionally unstable even though they had a lot of money. If you take a look at Facebook, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Boeing, maybe some other companies, technological companies that showed huge capitalization of 1 year, you would never find a company like that. This is because Skyway is invested by a multi-level crowd investing. So the leaders in the Skyways, the leaders and partners, got a huge army of, some bloggers call us, they could be called us trolls. Trolls, why trolls? Trolls are bad guys, but I don't know why. But many bloggers, I saw that, there was even one blogger who said, I want to get PR at the expense of Skyway. So, yeah, just wants to get PR, and that's why he's saying bullshit about us. So a lot of people are saying bad things about us. I will say a rude but true thing about them. They're idiotoids, Idiotoid is something that I could say like a form of ignorance and miseducation. The bad things spread hundreds of times faster than bad things. But what matters for us is that people know about us, whether it is good thing or bad thing, they hear about Skyway. And among the people who read the negative feedback, there are a lot of people among those who think the same way that I did in 2014. That was February the 21st. On the 22nd, I had to be meeting with Mr. Unitsky. And that was the person that I knew who knew Unitsky, and he was really saying bad things about Unitsky, saying that he is a bad guy, taking money and not building anything, and so on. And then I asked him, okay, please show me your ideas. But, what he said was that he actually didn't have anything that was even nearly like what Unitsky had. And I thought that if they say such a lot of bad things about Mr. Unitsky, then I have to meet him. A lot of people who get negative information perceive it positively. And since negative information spreads times faster than the positive information, those idiotic bloggers that are saying those things about us are actually spreading the word. You know, if you're just spreading information about us, not getting any money about that, what kind of a person are you? You're an idiot. I think they're really idiots. They're saying bad things about us, not understanding that they're actually advertising us, not getting anything about us from it. But yeah, of course, they get new subscriptions and followers, and they get something from YouTube, but this is not even compared to what they could be getting from us. So, take a look at the technological companies that had the first year capitalization of that amount. This figures happened with the help of multi-level crowd investing. So the industry of MLM crowd investing, this is something that really has a lot of potential in the future. I said that in the past, I'm saying that now. If the multi-level system of business created a huge number of millionaires in the world over 70 years, then multi-level crowd investing of Skyway and Skyway Group will create an army of multi-millionaires and billionaires of the new type, people of the new type of thinking, the people who search for new horizons, the horizons of preserving the ecology of the earth, providing wealth to a huge number of people, appropriate distribution of finance, promoting the new type of thinking that would be progressive, not regressive. So the progress and welfare in the world, but not regress and destruction. This is something that this army of people will be pursuing in the future. So, dear friends, if we speak about the latest news, then yeah, I want to wrap it up. So the homework that you have. Until our new meeting, please study such companies, study if there are such companies like Skyway Groups over the last 5 years with such level of capitalization within the first year. So that's the homework. Next. Even though in the Arab Emirates, so I have a colleague who went to the Emirates and took a look at the construction sites. So right now, even though there is now a huge there are significant plans of introducing Skyway technologies in the Arab Emirates and other countries, so we need new production facilities. What's that? Those are the assets, the basic funds that will even further capitalize our company. A year ago, when we were meeting with Nadezhda, which is the Director General of String Technologies, and she's the spouse of Mr. Unitsky. She's the Finance Director of Skyway. So we were talking about the production flow of the universe. So now what I heard was that the production level could grow 2 times. At that point, she said that with the production facilities and amounts that we had at that point, we could be producing unibuses at the rate of 100, 120 unibuses per month. So this would be over 1,000 a year. So we're now holding negotiations with Russia. We want to introduce the respective projects. One of the projects that Mr. Unitsky has been looking forward to implementing. But when we started working on that without the people who are ready to actively support the implementation, especially in St. Petersburg, for example, the highway St. Petersburg-Moscow, we said that there's like Sapsan train, fast-speed train there. Why do they even need that? They said, no, this is feasible. You know, of course, somebody might be impeding our progress in certain fields, but, well, actually, that's not the case. Of course, there are people who could be doing that, but the need for affordable, high-speed transportation is so high everywhere, especially in Russia, that all those people who we're communicating with about that, the people that we are showing our projects to, yes, they read bad stuff about us in the articles, but they say, yep, that's rubbish, because whenever there's a good cause, of course there will be a lot of people saying bad things about that. So, yeah. Whenever there's a good cause, there are a lot of people who want to stop it from happening. At this point, this is no longer stoppable, especially after what has been happening lately in the Emirates. Finally, Unicar T is created for the climate zone of Skyway in Sharjah. Just look at the design, maybe it's like a futuristic movie. If you could remember 10 or 15 years ago, the sci-fi movies were showing transport like that on other planets. So this is something the Skyway can produce, something Skyway will be producing, something that we will see within the next year or year and a half. Next, I was really impressed by the article by Mr. Unitsky in technology.org. I'm going to send that article. I downloaded it, especially. Yeah, basically it is in English, but you can translate it via Google Translate. You can read through the article. This is the open letter to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos on the part of Mr. Unitsky. What Mr. Unitsky is saying is something that I heard on February 22nd, 2014. I'm happy that such messages are there in the world. So, again, Mr. Unitsky is suggesting many things to Musk and Bezos in that article. And there's a hidden message implying that we may be having negotiations with such renowned people who are already working on space exploration and other space-related fields. So, Skyway, the change of discount. Remember, we have some sub-stages in the 13th stage. So we're going to be changing the discount. This will happen on February the 10th, 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another sign showing that this work is being fulfilled. Most importantly, after reading the business plan, like almost 5 years ago, reading the business plan that Mr. Unitsky was drafting at that point, what I see already accomplished over these almost 5 years. We're talking of garments lately, and we were contemplating and thinking back to times when we were just dreaming about things being brought to light and implemented, and the things are actually not real. So, in 5 years, when we have another webinar meeting, maybe I will be already riding on a unibus somewhere where we'll be celebrating. I had a dream today when I slept tonight. So that was, I saw walking robots building Skyway. I could hardly sleep because my child had fever. So now I merely slumber, not sleep those nights. But I really saw walking robots building Skyway at the speed of, in my sleep. That was 10 minutes. I was talking to somebody, telling them, and of those 10 minutes, they built about 10 kilometers of Skyway. And since I'm having that, while I'm dreaming about that, Mr. Unitsky is probably already drafting the design and project of those walking robots that will soon be building Skyway. So, those people who yet do not know about Skyway, there are lots of such people. So, please, when you're working and calling people, just ask them, do you know what Skyway is? They say, no, I don't. Say, oh, no, I'm going to tell you about what Skyway is. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Dear friends, you're not going to have any kind of an opportunity like that. And at the final webinar, I will show you a spreadsheet saying that such opportunity that we had 5 years ago will never be available to anybody. Such opportunities that we had 4 years, 3 years ago, such opportunity that we have now will never, ever, or again be available. So, and then you ask a person, do you know about Skyway? And they say, yes, I do. You're saying, do you know bad things or good things? They're saying, bad things. You're saying, do you want to know the truth? They're saying, no. But then you say, do you want to know how to turn $1 into $1 million? Oh, I was asking these questions to a huge number of people. You know, yeah, there were people, probably stupid people, idiots who said, no, I'm not interested. How can you not be interested in how $1 turns into $1 million? That means this person is an idiot. Even a millionaire or a billionaire would be interested if you ask them that question. They know it, but they want to know how this happens elsewhere. So, dear friends, there is still time. We still have 10 days to give information to a huge number of people who are maybe hesitating, maybe people who do not know yet, people who do not understand what this is. You have a chance to give them an opportunity to learn about the 8 rules of private investor, and in several days they will call you saying, I want to become an investor, I want to have a share in Skyway. 10 days left. You can have great work to do, and you can make lots of money. Again, I'm showing the slide with the only goal to demonstrate what education is and why it pays off. Armand Mouniers had the average income of 39.6% of ROI. Jamila Jutsubekova also had a significant investment. Petru Shalba had 25%. These people are not exactly professionals of multi-level business. They just worked a bit. Armand worked in a hotel. Petru worked in utility business. And now these guys are powerful MLM people, and they work a lot to bring benefits to other people as well. So, because of a lot of requests, we included some things into Master Profi. You get the record of Master Profi online. It has already been translated into 4 languages. In Russian, this was taught in Crimea. Now, I think it was translated into Italian, Spanish, and other languages. So you can pay in installments. You have access to a closed community where once a month the people who paid for Master Profi online meet and ask questions. You'll have an opportunity later to visit Master Profi offline, paying more money. So people who bought Master Profi online, you have the access to recording. And you'll be able to come to Master Profi offline and get answers to your questions. Master Profi in Milan. The date is to be announced. It's going to be in February. Probably starting from February and until the middle of March. That's the tentative period within which is going to happen. Either myself or Mr. Romanenko and Antonina Kianovska, Armand Mouniers, and so on. All these people are going to be there at Master Profi Online in Moscow. So Russia, Belarus, Ukraine. Further on, the Business Forum, the Project of the Future, March 30th. 2019, Almaty, the Palace of the Republic. So we have several participation packages like standards and VIP. You can further on read about the details. Everybody in the Middle Asia, everybody who speaks Russian, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, all of you can come to Almaty and we will have a good productive working session. February 9th and 10th, within 10 days, we're meeting in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. We're going to have people from India, from Malaysia, from Indonesia, from Vietnam, from Thailand, from Malaysia. We're going to have a productive 2 days, and then we'll talk about the latest news, about what kind of things we're going to do in the future, about cryptomats, about CTO, about what we have to do with cryptomats, and the new financial systems financing Skyway projects that we want to implement so that we work on it faster. This is the latest news that we're going to learn in Kuala Lumpur. People coming to Kuala Lumpur, congratulations, because this is the starting point for
And our
our
goal, or the finish, is the 1st of October 2019. This event will be most probably held in the United Arab Emirates. I'm not sure about the city. This will be a field event. We will celebrate our 5th anniversary. We're not sure who we're going to meet, probably managers or consultants as well. So that will be a closed event. It will not be attended by each and every of the partners because there will be a lot of information presented, lots of news. By the time we shall have prepared a range of investment instruments which will help to implement the targeted Skyway projects. At this event we will open up lots of new opportunities for those who want to grow faster, who want to develop their businesses faster, and who want to achieve better financial results. The 9th and the 10th of February is the starting point, and it'll bring you to the finishing point as a winner. It'll turn you a president or at least a advisor of the president, because we want to have some 10 or 30 new presidents be born this year. So the 10th of February we'll present new information for people, and we'll tell people how to become presidents fast and what revenues can be generated within this period of time by the 1st of February 2019. On the 16th of February at 11 a.m. in Belarus in the big hall, the big conference hall, there will be a meeting hosted by Petru Zhalbe. This will be a special guest who will tell his personal story about the way he turned a affluent businessman and about the way he generated the flow of revenues and capital that he has today, that he can boast today. So those of you living in Belarus and their neighbors in Ukraine, for example, do your best in order to attend this meeting with Petru Zhalbe. On the 8th of June, my friends, let me repeat that, and let me repeat whatever was mentioned by Dmitry. We are having a assembly for entrepreneurs of network business. That'll be a meeting targeting the Russian speakers. For the English speakers, we're having a event in Los Angeles. It's not in Los Angeles, in Las Vegas. That'll be a GoPro. Recently we had some guys coming with really nice results. Next year we want Armand to present at this event. So we want him to present not only at the assembly but also at the GoPro event, because this is the event which is attended by people who earn more than 1 million a year. So we have developed a special program for Armand, who will present at GoPro in 2019, representing Skyway Invest Group with a new project. So on the 8th of June of 2019, we're having an assembly of entrepreneurs. So you need to build up your own plans, including the events that you want to attend, as well as the amount of money that you want to receive. So the higher your needs are, and you necessarily need to have some needs, the more money you will attract. So all these events are arranged in such a way that you can freely plan your visits And I would like to recommend the Russian speakers first and foremost to attend the Assembly of Network Business Entrepreneurs on the 8th of June 2019. You should probably buy a place in the VIP zone. And the next step is the 9th and the 10th of June after the assembly. We are going to present really nice instruments, and those can be shared with other network investors and network entrepreneurs. So people can tell you that they can buy the tickets from different places, but they will not receive the investment and educational programs that are available with us. And we are also providing a bonus which has a value of 200 units. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can find hundreds of people, numbers of specialists in the cryptocurrencies, and they can receive some presents from us in the form of 200 units through purchasing a ticket for the assembly held this year. And 40 tickets to partners of the first and second and third levels, which will enable you to buy a VIP ticket. Besides, we are having a Millionaire in a Year seminar held in Moscow on the 31st of January 2019, which will provide you with a lot of information. And the 9th and the 10th of February, we're having an event in Malaysia. It will never repeat in your life. You'll never have a similar opportunity in your life. That's a once-in-a-life opportunity. You will never become a millionaire if you don't attend this meeting. So you should necessarily attend those meetings. And just like in 1998, on the 1st and 2nd of August, I attended a meeting for multi-level business entrepreneurs. I decided to follow the path of multi-level business, and I decided to become a leader in this area. I decided to bring something good for the society and the planet. So just in the same fashion, this event will never ever happen again. So we're having an event in Malaysia on the 9th and 8th. Besides, for the Central Asia, we are having an event in Kazakhstan on the 30th of March. Besides, in June, we're having splendid events that are not to be missed. The same is true about the 1st of October 2019. It will never happen again. These events are milestones. They are in deficit. So what can be sold best, whatever can be purchased always whenever you need, or whatever is at a premium. So you should probably buy whatever is at a premium, so you know what deficit is about, whatever is at a rarity, whatever will never come to you again in your life, or what can be purchased at any point of time. Konstantin saying that both being a professional salesman, I can tell you that the work I'm doing for SWIG personally is actually more extensive than the work done by anyone else. My personal contribution for SWIG is more extensive, is bigger than the one done by anyone else. We have Almond here, but he does less than I do. So being a professional salesman, I can tell you that it is always easy to sell whatever happens just once, whatever is available just once. And the same is true about brand products. So brand products are available only once at a certain year, in a certain year, at a certain place. So we can compare it to wine produced in a certain year when there was some really nice weather, which really affected the qualities of wine and its taste. I am not a wine connoisseur. I am more into juices, but many people who like wine say that its quality is actually affected by the weather. For example, the weather in Turin. Let us imagine a year when the weather was especially beautiful in Italy, on some hills, and it produced some wine of exceptional quality, which will never be available again. So, my dear friends, whenever you invest into education, you're invest in your future. And this will make you well off very rapidly. So when you're making some decisions, or during the 2 upcoming weeks, you need to make some decisions about the plans for your life and the business plans for your entrepreneurial life within the Skyway Invest Group. You should necessarily remember these events, the 9th and the 10th of February 2018 in Kuala Lumpur, as well as the events held in Moscow, Master Profi, in particular Kazakhstan, as well as probably India. In early April I'm going to visit India. So we're having an assembly, and the 1st of October 2019 the celebration of the anniversary. And let me finally respond to the questions, just to a few of them. I'm not going to respond to the most frequent questions because I'm going to just tell you where you can find the answers available. Pavel is asking a question about when the information on the SWIG tokens be available for those who will be absent in Malaysia. Once it is available, once we pass the procedures, I mean the specific procedures, and only then will you have all the information available. So once we solve it all, but in order to solve it we need some 2 or 3 more months. The questions are being solved about the way we do it, better than ICO, because today the crypto currency is actually a swear word, so it's actually being replaced by some new stages, and including the STO, and that's what we're actually doing. So you need to read it up. We need to protect our investors, because there are certain requirements and certain obligations that are assumed by the creator of STO tokens. So, and this is what makes us unique. A token in STO is a token which is secured by a share. The transition to the 14th stage will happen in April or May. Well, it's hard to tell when exactly that will take place. Once we have $150 million, once the company receives $150 million for constructions, then we are completing the 15th stage, stage 15. What about the platform for $3.5 million? I believe for STO, once we launch it, we are going to do that in parallel. And we are having crowdfunding and crowd investing platforms operating with stocks present. Now we're discussing the prices. Are there any ideas about the way to inform as many people as possible about the Skyway technologies? Well, look, my dear friends, what about Master Profi? You would be actually interested in finding out about the details. Well, you need to write all your ideas, Konstantin, but I know what they actually boil down to. No matter what idea you come up with, the best idea, the best one, in terms of spreading or dissemination of the information, is professional dissemination of information. And we do not just have to disseminate the information among 7 billion of people. So a week passes and we do some promotion of Skyway, but people will forget about it. In a month people will just forget about it, and there will be a new wave and people will forget. But the information which is disseminated through the multi-level network, through the multi-level crowd investing system, is the information which is spread not that fast, but it is spread in a precise way. Let me bring a simple example for you, just for you to understand. Let us imagine, well, let us imagine a flower, a lotus on a lake. Once in my life I saw a lake being entirely covered by those beautiful flowers, but I didn't see it a day before, 2 days before. So I came to that lake first when there were just a couple of flowers, but when I came fishing in autumn, this lake was replete with those flowers. So it took one flower, then two, then four, then five, then eight. At a certain point of time, 1/4 of the lake was covered. Then in a while, half of the lake was covered by the flowers. And within some period of time, the entire lake was finally covered by those lotuses. So you just need to start with yourself. If you like the information provided by Skyway, and if you are ready to disseminate it, you need to read some articles by Mr. Unitsky and watch his movie. I think there is a nice 40-minute movie discussing the reasons behind the establishment of Skyway, as well as the reasons for the Spaceway and why do we need it. You also need to watch the movie about the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and you will understand the philosophy behind whatever we are doing. So if you want to join us in order to carry this philosophy into the masses, you just need to understand what we do first and foremost. Secondly, you need to understand that we make money. Yes, we don't do whatever we do for free, and we have a really good margin, and we receive this margin and reallocate it through the multi-level system. And this is about multi-level crowd investing. So you have the opportunity to learn how to become rich and to make good money. There is nothing bad about that. Margin is always there. So we asked often the question, how do you act onto a pyramid? Yes, indeed, any state is a pyramid. A kindergarten is about pyramids. Why is a kindergarten a pyramid? Because they have a director, they have the nurses and so on and so forth. They have children. They have a strong hierarchy. The same is true about the state. There is a president, there is a minister, there is a government, and there are people. But there are some financial pyramids which reallocate money without investments. So this is what financial pyramids are about. And a huge number of people, unfortunately, deplorably, have invested some $100 billion within the last 4 or 5 years in some cryptocurrencies. So these are the latest data. More than $100 billion have been invested into cryptocurrencies, and people have lost 99% of those funds. Others have received those funds. So if 1% of these funds were invested into Skyway, then people would make some money. They would make a lot of money, and we would actually complete the root technology. Everything would have been already financed, and we would have started implementing the target projects. But instead of that, people started to bring their money, to carry the money to the financial pyramids. They didn't have some financial skills and knowledge, but those who had some knowledge wanted to make some fast, rapid profits. So financial pyramids are not about investment. Instead, we are investing into the real sector of the economy, and the part of money is remaining and is further reallocated. So if today all the partners, and we have 150,000 registered partners, if every fifth of them had some 5 rendezvous a day, well, once Armand said that in order to become successful, you need to have 5 meetings a day. This is a way to success. You just have to have 5 B2B meetings via Skype or personally in a cafe or at home or at a kitchen. It does not really matter. You just need 5 meetings a day. That'll bring you success. So only that way can we very quickly disseminate information among people, and we will also respond to all the questions. And if people play the financial genius game at least 3 or 5 times, these people will act as our partners and our co-investors. But any other technologies that promise you to disseminate information among 7 billion of people in a very rapid way, well, actually, these are quite futile. Out of these 7 billion people, some will be eager to become co-investors, but they will immediately bump at some negative articles, because someone needs to explain to them. So I'm glad to hear out your suggestions, but I know what your suggestions boil down to. And the fastest way, the most rapid way that can be used to disseminate information among people is the personal communication from heart to heart. No one has ever replaced that. So no matter what it's at, multi-level business, which is carried on in a personal way from heart to heart, is the fastest way to disseminate information of any kind. So we have some 50% of the population in different countries. These need to become our co-investors. These need to become our partners. These need to support these Skyway technologies in the countries. This is one of the major tasks for us, which can be only carried out through personal contacts. There are no any other ways available.
You can get 1 million registrations, but what's the point of having them? You just think about that. How many people on Facebook actually do something there? Yeah, years ago there may have been more of them, but nobody's really using Facebook so much. Simple people typically do not really do things on Facebook anymore. Only people who do business use Facebook actively. So what's the point that Zuckerberg has like 1.5 billion registrations? So what's the point? Subscriber for me is a person who reacts. For example, if I send my video, a subscriber watches that video and leaves like, I don't know, a feedback post or something like that, or they click on it. Otherwise, what's the point of having 10 million subscribers, but the feedback after the video is the same that I have like 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. You understand that, right? Okay, write that. Maybe you have a good suggestion that we might be using further. Those who want to know the truth and they compare the negative to the positive, locked up, turned off, having turned off their phone and consciously evaluating the project. I have no idea what this comment is about. CTO, you can Google that, like in Latin letters, CTO. What's the difference from ICO? So you can basically find tons of articles on that topic. Yeah, we're still working on the Moscow part. When we have the results, we'll reveal the information, but we're still working at this point. At least we're told that this is necessary, and this is very good. I don't see any more interesting questions. Can you explain what token is financially? Yeah, you know what ICO is, right? ICO is a prototype of IPO, but in the crypto market. So when tokens are created, not the cryptocurrency, but before the cryptocurrency becomes cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency means it is already traded in the stock exchange, and so on. Before cryptocurrency actually is created, there are tokens. Tokens are traded among the participants who want to buy. It's like, there is IPO when shares are issued, and before entering the stock market, you know that IPO is going to be done by this or that company. So that we learn more about the IPO, please Google IPO and come to our trainings by Romanenko and Antonina Kianovskaya. So, ICO is a prototype of IPO, but in the crypto market. I have an idea, let's say. So I heard at the crypto conference that a person had an idea to create a blockchain and tokens. For example, some total of 10 million tokens where there will be software calculating for a restaurant what kind of products it will need for what kind of customer. You can do that without blockchain or without tokens, but I have no idea why this is even necessary. But okay, he says I need 10 million tokens, and they do the pre-ICO, so the people who want to invest, they don't need so much documents as you need for an IPO, so they can receive money right away. But the thing is that the guys who wanted to create something, they took a lot of money, they spent money, somebody bought a Ferrari, somebody bought something else. They thought that money will continue flowing. So since this is a an idea of what I want to do, so it causes a lot of financial pyramids and a lot of fraudsters and a lot of that. So the company over 2017, over 2018, but specifically 2017, that was the peak of growth of cryptocurrencies. In 2018, they thought that probably things would recuperate, so some turned to a more transparent phase of ICO, but there was still no evaluation by the Commission on securities, because what is a token? Token is nothing. And CTOs, or in Russian STOs, there were such things that were that implied tokens secured by shares. And then there are companies where they have clear mission so that the investor understands clearly where each cent goes. Because in ICO we talked to specialists and they were saying, yeah, okay, so yeah, there is a certain idea, for example, idea of like NAMI and so on, so you can have the ICO and have no liability because of that. But we failed to do that. But if we have a CTO, then that's very specific. For example, if we want to have a special project for Moscow region, and we have like $2.5 billion, then we emit tokens, and then we get from investors $2.5 billion, and we invest it in the Moscow project. We cannot just take the money and invest it elsewhere. We have to invest it in Moscow or in Sicily. For example, in Sicily, we're preparing the video visualization because Sicily needs our Skyway a lot. But if we collect the money via CTO just only for the Skyway in Sicily, we have no right to spend it elsewhere, for example, in Cryptomats or in SWIG. For that, we'll be fined, and we can even stand criminal liability. So all the ICOs went through crypto exchanges, through the tokens of Ether, and different fields connected to that. Of course, one could escape liability, so you could collect money and not be responsible for it. So I thought about that. I thought about it really thoroughly, and we thought that we had to use CTOs because CTOs are tied to clear instruments. Tokens, same things. This is a verified share. So token is kind of a prototype of a share, but it's not regulated. But CTOs are regulated by the Commission on Securities of the United States and by European Commission. So this is already something for institutional investors, and there are other fields where the responsibility and liability of those who are taking money is much higher. So we cannot simply take money and not be liable or responsible. So we cut off the opportunity for fraudsters, and we cut off the access for financial pyramids. Of course, they might get squeezed in, but we will push them out quite quickly. So there are lots of companies who already had the CTO, and we are one of the projects. So the Skyway is a project. It can give a huge burst and an impetus. We can get a new category, the crypto community, that will be investing money into appropriate projects. I think I answered all the questions related to tokens. Could you please open the purchase of 1x600 to those who are active since 2015 and we're ready to give 10 shares to SWIG fund? Hey guys, 1x600 is no longer available to anybody, and we are not going to open that. Alexander, how did you calculate that? Alexander, so Andre, you're recommending 5 meetings a day, but if you have no experience, how do I do that? Well, you can just train yourself. You can recite all of that to yourself, record yourself on the phone camera. If you like your presentation when you watch it, then I can assure you that everybody else will as well. For example, Armand had to have a rendezvous. The person did not come to the cafe. And so, you know, and then he found an individual that was in London actually. So he found the person, and then he said, you know, I want to give you a presentation because there is a person that failed to show up, and I was waiting for them. May I just give the presentation to you instead? Then he said, yeah, okay, so that's what happened. And you know, I heard cases when the person was talking real bollocks, but they were speaking with such inspiration and such passion that even a person who did not know anything about that and who was reluctant to actually take this information in, gave up and said, okay, just send me the details, I will take a look. So now we have a Head Start course for people who are newly registered, and we have a lot of material. So please study it and start doing. So if you can do 10 rendezvous a day, please do so. Study the materials. Where can I send information? Yeah, please send it to the support service for Andrei Khamratov, or there is my personal manager for my social network, so she sends all the suggestions to me. Okay, somebody's writing, okay, if you can't talk nicely, then it's all in vain. Well, it depends on what you want from a person. It depends on whether you want to earn money from a person and get your commission, or you want to get them involved to give something beneficial to them and to make all the planet prosperous. If the former is the case, then the person will run away from you. If the latter is the case, and you're talking to them about what they will gain and how they will benefit from it, I may assure you the person will study that, and even if they don't have enough money, probably they will start earning so that they can cooperate with you. Dear friends, I see there are no more questions. I was happy to talk to you. We're going to meet with you quite soon, and it's going to be 5 years since I've met Mr. Uniski for the first time. We're going to show you a spreadsheet, and I was preparing it for March 25th of 2014 when there was first conference of Skyway, and there I met Armand, who came from London, and other people who are now around other companies, but to have good bonuses and have a lot of shares of Skyway. And at that point I created a report as to why you need to come to Skyway. And we will compare what I said then and what I told you now about why you need to come to Skyway, and the spreadsheet as to why the dividends are going to grow from people who are going to register and get some bonuses as in the form of shares of Skyway company. And also I will talk about the future of people who already have Skyway shares. So, dear friends, please tell me why in the capital. Well, I'm not in the capital, so I don't know. Okay, prosperity to all of you, all the best to all of you, and remember, this year is a decisive year of your business skyrocketing. We set the objective of growing 500 times. You can grow 500 times as well. If you're alone right now, in a year you may have a network of maybe 500 or 5,000 partners, or maybe 50,000 partners. Yeah, 50,000, the network of your clients. If your network now is 1,000, 500 would be 500,000. So ask yourself what you're ready to do for this to happen, what resources you're ready to use. Are you ready to attend the events I've talked about? For those of you who are still hesitating whether or not to go on the 9th or the 10th to Malaysia, if you have an opportunity, please come. We will work productively. You will hear about lots of interesting venues of cooperation work. There will be also the assembly on the 8th of June, and the million year in a year, and the October of 2019. There will also be the 5th Jubilee of our company. Please make sure you stay tuned for all of these events. All the best. Some of you we're going to meet in Malaysia. Some of you we're going to meet in Moscow. Some of you we're going to meet in Kazakhstan and Almaty. Bye-bye. You don't have enough money for everyday needs, brand clothes, quality food. You're afraid to lose your income because you don't have any savings. You're not sure of your tomorrow because your work or business is not stable. Your work or business brings you no pleasure. You're there just because of money. People keep making the same mistake all over. Trying to earn more, you spend all of your time on work. But your family is neglected. You only travel when you sleep. You give the bank, you invest money in a bank, and the interest does not even cover inflation. When you realize that, you take all the money out of the bank and you invest in a financial pyramid and you lose all you have. You regularly invest in pension program, but the pension program guarantees that you probably won't live until pension age, rather than have nice time when you're retired. Nothing can guarantee your income and your investments pay off in a year, maybe 5 years. Trying to implement your dreams led you to the conclusion that dreaming is for children and adults have to live in reality. Please think, if you keep solving the problems the way you did yesterday, the result will be the same as today. It is time to be efficient. SWIG gives you access to new business in the system of multi-level crowd investing. This is a solution to all your problems. And this business is affordable, geographically accessible, and you fit with your family status and all the other parameters. The optimal investment is $250, and the payoff period is starting from 1 day. You can work from any point in the world, over the internet, whichever way you want. You need to invite the people you know and organize meetings with the experts somewhere. You don't need to procure equipment or goods. You always have the money to build the capital that brings you passive income. So you can retire at any point. All of your family members can be your business partners. That means you will have some things in common. Thanks to SWIG, you can earn more and work less. This will enable you to travel with your family and enjoy your life. Just imagine how you're eating exotic fruits at the seashore, and in the evening you're buying the newest clothes in a trade center. You can stop thinking about the prices and buy whatever you want. With SWIG, you will be able to save and multiply your money. This will make you sure of tomorrow, and you'll be able to retire in 5 years already. Just think of that. 40, 30, 25 best years of life. All of that will be for you, for your happiness, instead of working for money. You will see stable development and you will feel needed, because SWIG deals with topical and necessary cause for all of the humanity. With no exaggeration, you will become a hero for your family. What do you need for happiness? A new car, a big house, a trip to Maldives, a favorite job, family, recognition, free life in any point of planet, clean planet, or maybe happy people around are ready to get all of that. We are creating the new economic evolution of the world. What is that? Imagine a society where everybody is co-owner of all of the good production. You turn on the light and you earn money. You drive a road and you earn money. You buy things and you shop and you make money. You are constantly making money when somebody stops at a hotel, for example, or using a unibus.
Well, that's the way you do, always and everywhere. SWIG unites business affordable to everyone, financial education and investment. This is the very thing that you need in order to solve all your problems. So call or write a message to the individual who provided you with this video. Request some more information, because the faster you act, the faster you achieve your dreams. We're meeting on the 10th and the 9th of February in 2019, the Hotel Banky Avenue. SWIG invites you to participate in this 2-day event, where you will have an insight into the future of Skyway Invest Group. Director General Andrei Khavratov will tell you about all the interesting events and opportunities which are waiting for the partners of SWIG. Join us in the tropical Malaysia and find out from the CEOs of the company about the secrets of financial business. More time, more money, more freedom. You'll find out the secrets about the way to show growth and make your money work for you. During this 2-day summit, there will be leaders from the number of regions presenting, including Malaysia, New Zealand, the US, Australia, India, Kuwait, Oman, Great Britain, and Russia. There are 2 options to purchase the tickets. The price is 130 USD per ticket. There are 200 tickets in total. 10 packages that for 1,097 US dollars. The number of tickets is limited, so please hurry up. The event by Skyway Invest Group is attracting more and more individuals. These are like-minded people who are looking for new opportunities and those who care about their financial affluence and the future of their family. On the 16th of February 2019, there will be a meeting in Moscow, which is not to be missed. This is the first SWIG conference in 2019. You will learn about the exclusive news of the company. You'll have an insight into the plans for the future. You'll be introduced into the leaders in innovation in the transportation area. You'll find about the way crowd investing turns into the cutting-edge area in the economy, as well as about the prospects it opens up for you in future. The culmination of the summit will be the
presentation by the ambitious leader manager from Italy, the member of the Department of Multi-Level Crowd Investing of SWIG, Pietro. You'll hear the true-to-life story about the way success is achieved. You will have the opportunity to communicate with an individual who gathers millions of people at his events. Hello, my dear friend. My name is Pietro. I'm the leader manager in the Skyway Invest Group. I developed my business in 60 countries of the world. In 2 years, I have generated millions of revenue. On the 16th of February, I will be in Minsk, and I will introduce you into the technologies which will allow you to create $1 million business in a year. Pietro is an individual which had nothing apart from the strong will and motivation. This is an inspiring individual who will motivate you to implement your most ambitious plans. He once found out about the great opportunities provided by the Skyway Invest Group funds and made the most important choice in his life. He started to work without having any business experience. His own mistakes that were really abundant, as he admits, did not break him, but actually served as a good school in business for him and turned him into a bright leader and a true professional. He was mocked at. Friends turned away from him and asked him to be like everyone else. Everyone told him that he would fail, but he persistently followed his path towards success. So his persistence and belief in his success provided him with bright results. The opponents were left behind with their mocks and smiles, so the choice is up to you. Those individuals who will receive the training will always be at the top, because if you stay waiting at the market, you will be just waiting with the chicken feed income. At his events, leaders are born. Today, in your country, in your city, you are having the world-scale events held, which will allow you to change your life radically for the better. Minsk, the 16th of February 2019. You need to learn success from the most successful individuals.